everyone, and welcome to Random Number Generation. This is the GDQ Hotfix show about randomizers and the fantastic runners and communities behind them. I'm your host, Skybilz, and this is episode 96. Yes, it really has been that many. Kingdom Hearts 2 Rando with AA Dewey, and we have some fantastic commentators as well here from the Kingdom Hearts 2 community. We have Ragnoth and Zadikis. So before we dive in, because we want to answer chat's burning questions about what gets randomized here, a few announcements on behalf here of Games Done Quick. Summer Games Done Quick will be live from Minneapolis, Minnesota, June 30th through July 6th. The SGDQ 2024 games list will be out April 26th. Let us know at Games Done Quick on social media and let us know what you're hoping to see. There's some of us who submitted. You should be cheering for us here in this call. We'll talk about that later. GDQ Hotfix is proud to present its first Asian American and Pacific Islander American Heritage Month celebration. Join us on May 18th and 19th for 2 full days of showcases, speedruns, and celebrating AAPI heritage. Submissions are open until April 21st, and the schedule will come out on April 29th. Use !AAPI in chat to get more information on how to submit a run. And even more going on here. Sonic and the Sidekicks is coming June 1st and 2nd. If you speedrun a game with any of Sonic's friends, use !Sonic for more info. And as always, if you missed out on any of our shows or events, be sure to check out the VODs on youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. All right, and a partridge in a pear tree. What is up, y'all? Thank you so much for being on the show. Double, Ragnoth, and Zed. How are y'all doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on again. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Good to see some boss enemy rando.
Oh, yeah. Heck yes. So we had some burning questions in chat. Yes, I actually do read chat before we go live here. So from our live Twitch chat here, so people want to know, what does this randomizer do? What is exactly randomized? It looks like we may have some first timers in the chat too. Kingdom Hearts 2 Rando. And let me tell y'all, it's a very passionate community.
Absolutely. Basically, we're going to do two different ones today, but the first one today, if you haven't seen the randomizer at all, the first things first, I will start on the Garden of Assemblage, and through that I'll be able to access any world in any order. But the main thing we're going to be doing today is we're hunting some bosses. This is Boss Hunter, or as I lovingly refer to it as Bunter. And most of them, all bosses are randomized, and you'll see some different Kingdom Hearts bosses on this bingo board here. And I'm trying to get 3 bingos or 3 lines. So, I don't know if there's anything else that my commentators you want to add on regarding that, but...
Yeah, so for the most part, every world, so like, as Double said, most of the bosses are going to be randomized. There are 2 exceptions. Simulated Twilight Town, the tutorial area where you play as Roxas normally, is not going to be in this version of Boss Hunter because we're using a different version of the Garden of Assemblage mod that would just take you right to the data fight, and we can do that fight elsewhere, so we don't need to do that. And Twilight Town is the same way. We're not going to have to go through all of Twilight Town. If we go through the Twilight Town portal in the Garden of Assemblage, we will be sent right to the Data Axle fight.
All right. Yeah, that's a really big thing that has changed up this, I want to say season regarding some of these settings changes, but we'll get into seasons of settings a little bit later. But yeah, Zed, is there anything else you want to add? You did create this category.
Yeah, of course. So the main thing I just want to tack on is that not just bosses and enemies that get randomized. Obviously, you're going to find like keyblades in chess. You're going to find your magics in chess. You're going to find your abilities in chess. All that kind of stuff is randomized as well. Your level up rewards are randomized. And pretty much like every boss in the game is randomized in the pool outside of some exceptions. For example, Grim Reaper 2, a boss that is very annoying that you see at the end of Port Royal, you're not going to see that boss at all. In fact, rather than seeing those bosses, you're going to see the bosses that are in the Cups category of bosses. So we're going to see Leon, Tifa, Cloud, Yuffie, and Hercules, rather than a few of the problematic bosses that make randomization very difficult.
Yeah, some of these bosses, I'm very glad to not have to fight anymore.
So, speaking of bosses you don't have to fight anymore, now I'm looking at your current bingo card here, Double. Is that Terra in
That
the
center
middle?
square. That center square is Lingering Will, the secret boss of Kingdom Hearts 2. Some would call the hardest boss of Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah, that doesn't set the tone for tonight, then I don't know what else can.
Uh-oh. Well, the cursed luck continues. Is there anything else y'all want to add? I'm really excited for some gaming here. But again, if there's anything else you want to add, just please feel free to chime in.
No, I think that we're all set. Start.
All right, on your count, Double. Good luck. You got this. Maybe we should get rid of Terra as early as possible.
I'll try my best. I'll go looking for him. But on that, without further ado, we're gonna get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
I mean, be honest, y'all. And again, this is a question for everyone, runner and commentators. Is there anything worse that could be in that middle square other than Terra? Like, maybe Seth? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, all the harder bosses in this game, right?
It's personal preference and depending on what toolkit you have, really. Sometimes Dandalark scene is really bad, depending on if you get a solo Sora arena. But, you know, Dandalark scene is right next to Terra this card, so, you know, that's not too much better.
No.
Sephiroth can obviously be bad sometimes. We got Data Zigbar can be pretty bad depending on what is there. But for the most part, no, Terra is the worst boss you can get in that middle square.
Yeah. I'd say the two worst that you can get there are probably like Terra, Data Vexen if he's in the solo arena. So you can't use forms or anything like that. It's pretty bad as well.
Yeah, Data Vexen is probably one of my least favorite fights to do solo.
Yeah.
It is a fight that changes very drastically with its danger level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of fights. Also, probably one that is you wouldn't think is that scary, but is actually really, really rough to fight, especially solo. Is Scar. Normally, you have to fight him as a lion, and it doesn't seem too difficult. But when you're fighting him alone, and he seems to perfectly read your inputs, to perfectly hit you at the right time, it can be a huge issue. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I know that it might seem a little boring, we're just going through these different worlds, but let's see some randomized enemies right here. Alright, some dancers.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So something Double is going to do is that he's going to actually get a lot of levels off of this first fight in Halloween Town, actually. So these dancers are going to give a pretty good chunk of EXP, and we're also going to see our Shadow replacement for the first
Oh,
time.
I thought it was Gargoyles, so we're good. It's just Rapid
I
Thrusters.
thought it was Gargoyle too. I was about to
Rapid
freak out.
Thrusters.
It's just Rapid Thrusters. Okay, so not as much experience as Double would like here, but the dancers at the start and then these gargoyles give enough to get by. Probably want to dance call in the next room as well to get some more EXP.
And we're going to quickly take a death to get, or take some damage just to get through the end of that fight. There's a lot of fights in this game. Also, Explosion's a very good find. A lot of fights in this game that you can just finish by either hitting a hit count or just taking a certain amount of damage. So a lot of those fights, sometimes you want to go a little bit of both. Maybe you want to go for some experience, some form levels, but a lot of the time you just want to death abuse it to get through quickly.
Yeah, another thing to note about the enemy randomization is enemies are randomized by type. So, like, if shadows are replaced by one enemy, they will always be replaced by that one enemy. So, in this seed, we saw that the rapid thrusters are replacing shadows. So that goes universally for all the enemies.
Now, I know chat was talking about this here, and I was thinking the same thing. So someone said, this is the Kingdom Hearts 2 soundtrack, I remember, right? This is not Tim Burton. It sounds more like Danny Elfman's music, even though it isn't. So what is in the mix for this soundtrack? This sounds, maybe not for this specific seed, but what are some songs that y'all have heard before? Chat, feel free to play Name That Tune as we go through this. But yeah, what's going on with the music here?
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool people that have converted a lot of soundtracks from different games to SCDs that they can be listened to in Kingdom Hearts 2. I definitely have a few that I've converted myself, namely Risk of Rain 1, or Risk of Rain Returns, rather. Kirby's Epic Yarn, and a few tracks from a couple other games I enjoy, but I definitely have also gotten a few songs in here from actually Ragnoff and Zeta, both done quite a bit of music conversions in the past. But there's some Celeste music there. Shovel Knight here, that's another one I converted.
Oh, this sounds really cool.
Also, my field only Lua is not working, that's concerning.
Should be fine, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe.
Say.
So, yeah, about the music conversion thing, like, if you go into the KH2 Randomizer Discord, we have a whole channel dedicated to posting those SCVs. So if you are trying to get into the randomizer and you want your music to be randomized and want to see what other people have provided for the community, you can just go in there, hop in that channel and scroll up or down, and you'll find a lot of SCVs for you to use and add to.
Okay, so we're gonna see something a little interesting here. I'm actually gonna go enter this portal here, though it's not actually. That's not good. That I don't have a certain something in.
Oh, you don't have the right mod.
I'm so sorry.
Did you forget the? Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I don't have the right GOA ROM. Why? That? Okay, I know why. I'm so sorry, chat. I'm actually gonna need to.
This will actually be this will be a quick fix though,
Yeah.
because you just have to rebuild.
I just have to rebuild. So sorry, guys. I had something a little iffy with some things. Now that explains a lot, kind of. I want to turn that off.
So something to mention is that with these boss enemy categories, we actually have a lot of special mods that we need to load up into Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer to actually get what we want to working. One of those things that Double just attempted to do was peep the Data Axle Arena. Instead of going to Twilight Town, it's supposed to take you directly to the Data Axle Arena, just like how it does in the vanilla game. So that's one of the things that we changed specifically for boss enemy rando to work with KH2 Randomizer.
Okay.
Yeah, there's another set of mods that, like, for instance, we have something that will remove the timer from the OC Pete fight, because normally that fight has a 2-minute timer, and say you get a super boss there like Sephiroth or Terra. Under most circumstances, you're probably not clearing that fight in 2 minutes. There's a few other mods, like, packaged all into one, like one that changes the damage scaling to be more in tune with the way that the base game handles its damage scaling based off of battle level and stuff. And yeah, just some nice quality of life stuff for boss enemies specifically.
Okay. Isn't that autosave? Unfortunately, loading in here, but that's fine. This should be fine, right?
I have no idea. I believe it should be.
I'm gonna leave the world into the GOA, and hopefully everything's fine. Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
That's
good hall of
Should we go to a break real quick?
no. I'm pretty sure we had a way to deal with this before. I'm pretty sure this should work. We're good.
We're
good.
Hey!
Okay,
all right.
so this is what I was talking about. This one looks a little different from the others. We're gonna go in here, and we're gonna see a cool data fight, and decide. So this is some food for later, some special toolware used for later. I just wanted to know what was in that fight for later.
Did Cloud just destroy you?
Oh yeah, he has.
Yeah. So
he has a battle level 99. So
yeah.
Not the most ideal as far as to fight something, but Cloud and a lot of the FF fights are actually very easy, weirdly enough, because the way that they're scaled, you just do a lot of damage to them.
Yeah, they take a lot of damage and they don't have much health. Like in battle level 99 arenas, I think Cloud has 5.5 bars or 6 bars of health, and that's it.
So I just want to let the chat know that, like, this is why you have to pay attention, right? You never know what's going to happen here on Random Number Generation. When people ask what's randomized, sometimes the entire show could be randomized like this.
Sometimes whether or not I'm prepared can be randomized is what I'm learning. Ooh, Light and Darkness is a very good find. For those that don't know, that actually allows me to actually get Final Form. That is, if I find any form to use with that. But you can actually use Auto Form, so Final can be your first form doing that. But that'll be something I look into a little bit later. Gosh, I'm so embarrassed.
No,
you're fine.
Come on.
Quick fix.
We are almost 100 episodes in. Name it, and it's probably happened here. There's nothing to be embarrassed about, okay?
This ain't my first rodeo on Hotfix. I should know better.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, have you seen what happens occasionally at GDQs.
I was gonna say, there's definitely some things that are clip-worthy that have happened.
Oh yes, absolutely. But yeah, we were talking about randomizers and the amount of work that has been put into this since it started. Again, this is not our first rodeo either with Kingdom Hearts 2 Rando. Are there any shout-outs you want to give to the community or talk about any kind of work that's been going on with this? Please, this is the community's floor here. Feel free to shout out anything that's important about this or any recent innovations in Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer.
There's a lot of shout-outs to give.
I was just going to say, I should have made a list.
I should have made a list too.
First of all, Zach the Robot is the head dev of the generator that we use to generate these sort of randomizer seeds. He's been hard at work with the next generator update, and it is amazing so far. So many new features are coming in, all thanks to his hard work, as well as a few other people that I'm going to mention here in a little bit. Equations 19 is also part of that generator dev team. Thundrio is our residential boss enemy expert. He is the reason we have these boss enemy replacements working in this game. And then Damien A_VT, otherwise known as DA, has been hard at work with making sure that boss enemy is in a stable place. He's also responsible for the tracker, and he is overall he helped me create these categories that we're seeing ran today as well. Like, he played a big part in that as well. So yeah, those are the people I want to shout out. I guarantee you I'm forgetting people, but those are the ones that came to mind immediately.
I'll say shout outs to Aurora Maniac 8, who made a fork of this tracker that you're seeing the spinal board on, actually.
Yes, I forgot about
another very prominent developer in the KC Arena community, very beloved member. Shout out to Sonic Shadow Silver 2, having done so much work in not just the KC Arena community, but the KHD speedrunning community, has been in the KHD community probably longer than anyone else that's still here. So, big shout out to created the original randomizer mod. That is what this is all built off of.
I also, too, want to give a big shout out to Spike Vegeta. He has introduced me to such a wonderful group of people from many different randomizer communities here, Kingdom Hearts 2 being included. You know, Zach's been on here before. Double, I know I've had you on before. Zed, I know I've had you on before, too, for stuff. And it's just every single person I meet from any community Spike introduces me to is just lovely. So again, it's so awesome to get to know the community through him. So again, thanks to Spike as well.
So big shout out to Spike Vegeta. Somebody that I've been in the Kingdom Hearts 2 speedrun community, used mostly as a watcher for about 9 years now. I got into it actually through the GDQ 2015 event where there was a crit 90% run done by BB, Rio Peace, and Biz. So a lot of people that I spent a long time watching and learning from that I now am lucky enough and blessed enough to call my friends. It is incredibly surreal. I'll say it's just, music from Undertale that just makes me get a little sappy. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. And also, too, I do want to give a big hotfix welcome to Ragnoth as well, one of our commentators for tonight. We're very happy to have you on.
Glad to be here.
Sorry, a little inside joke.
No, you're good.
I'm not picking it up.
I always giggle at Goofy moving around in the turtle shell. You think that would get old to me after a while? No, every time I see that animation, I just chuckle.
Yeah, for someone that hasn't really seen Kingdom Hearts, it might be a little strange seeing me play as a lion here, but you should see me fight a boss as a lion. It's even better. So, I know people came here to watch me fight bosses. I'm sorry that I haven't fought one yet, but I will soon, I promise. There is something we definitely preach in this community, which is do your shotguns, and this period is called your shotgun, where you just kind of get a lot of the free checks and early checks you can throughout all of the worlds, not leaving anything behind, because if you leave behind a world, somebody that you might be racing will not, and they will have something over you the entire seed. If you don't go to that world, 3 glides will be there every seed.
Not only that, especially in something like Boss Hunter, where the goal is to, defeat as many bosses as quickly and efficiently as possible. Getting those tools is really important. Like, for instance, we've gotten Light and Dark, Combo Master, and Explosion in some of the shotguns that we've done. Those are all 3 very important tools to have to speed up fights.
Now, y'all are talking about, like, if you don't go here, there's glides. So are you all telling me? Now, I've been seeing this more and more as I've been going through the show. You all have superstitions on this game, like the glide thing? Like, do you want to talk about that a little bit? I'm here
You
for
can't
that
play
lore.
this game for longer than, like, a year, and Ragnath and I have both been playing Rando for, like, 3+.
Yeah.
So without having several superstitions.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
For example, I have been trying to convince people, but people keep calling me crazy, that Zach the Robot is actually hiding inside of every single copy of the generator for this game. That it will change the seed live to make sure to mess with you throughout while you're playing. People look at me a little funny when I try to tell them that, but I don't know.
There's evidence. There's evidence.
Now, I've had Zach on the show before, okay? So, like, who modifies the randomizer if that's the case when Zach is actually playing?
If Zach's playing, Zach wants Zach to like be like good. Zach wants Zach to have a good time. I'm not crazy, you're crazy.
Oh, goodness.
Hit the star for good luck. Okay, shout out to Equations in chat. That's another great one.
Yeah.
In the Zemnis 1 arena, there's a star at Memory Skyscraper that you already have to wait for a reaction commands to be ready for you, so you hit the star while you're waiting. If you don't, your game will crap.
Oh, there's Zach. Hi, Zach. How you doing? We were just talking about you.
I didn't say anything.
You were no, I was gonna say you were saying.
The Beast's Castle. We're gonna go in here really quick. We're gonna say hi to some rapid thrusters here and hope that I can die relatively quickly here. It's a little awkward. I did actually take off an armor piece just to get below the defense floor. So a little quirk with Kingdom Hearts 2 and a few of the other Kingdom Hearts games is there are certain stat points that you can hit with your strength, defense, and magic, and once you're above a certain point, you will start getting you will actually start doing more damage or taking less damage for that matter. But if you're below that point, then you're actually doing the exact same. You're having the same experience as if you were on level 1. So, for example, if you were to fight a data fight while you're level like 49, but your stats aren't high enough, you might as well be level 1. And it's crazy to think that 48 levels don't even matter. But
Zach said, "I knew the generator was open." By the way, double.
the generator is actually open. Wait a minute. I just looked at my second monitor. My generator is open.
The door has been opened.
Did someone say the door to darkness?
No, that's
Sorry.
that's just Zach's generator. Oh, goodness. So yeah, superstitions. Anything else? I always love hearing about randomizer superstition lore, especially within tournaments, which I hear are pretty common in the Kingdom Hearts 2 world. Well, Kingdom Hearts 2 Rando world, rather.
I will say we're in a fairly big tournament right now, and there's a few different choices that you can make throughout that, and some would say that they always pick the wrong ones, with some being named Double Dewey that seem to always pick wrong. But what's a randomizer without some rando?
I mean, I know I've seen Spike play seeds and practice seeds and whatnot, and I don't know what it is lately. You all can tell me if the generator has been extra, we'll call it nasty lately, but there's been a lot of cheeky seeds, for lack of a better word.
Where'll they go?
Oh, this is actually really... This is scary. Tifa's kind of a scary fight. She has iframes and does a lot of damage. Like, yep, there it is.
Background? Hear me out.
Iframes.
Here, we're good.
Yo, the background.
Oh my gosh, what a gamer! I blinked and Tifa was down. That was well fought, Double.
Like we had mentioned before, there are a few the Final Fantasy fights being Tifa, Cloud, Leon, and Yuffie all have very low health, and you do a lot of damage to them. But they are That doesn't mean that they're not.
They hit
threatening.
hard.
They can hit very hard.
Yeah, they can hit very
Yuffie
hard.
and Tifa both have attacks that you cannot. You can damage them during, but you can't kill them during. It's a really weird. I coped a little bit during Tifa's attack there to see if I can use the explosion iframes to get through, but we got through just fine. I wanted to use Whirligoo because I think it's funny. And more people.
It was also like your best damage there.
I mean, I have explosion. It's just a little awkward to. So what I should have done if I was actually wanting to do the most optimal, I would have probably started a combo into Whirligoo. There's a chance I probably would have killed the first.
Yeah.
But get a little breather here. We're actually gonna be approaching a next boss, but it actually won't be randomized, unfortunately. This is Beast's room up ahead. It can be randomized. It shouldn't be. And we've come to this decision because you fight Terra in enough arenas and you're like, this one isn't fair.
Yeah, there are a lot of bosses that can be randomized in the Beast room, but a lot of them are very, very unfair. Unfair is a fair word for it.
No, that's a perfect word.
Because this room is very small, and there's a lot of terrain on the sides of it that will impede your movement, or impede the boss's movement and cause some really awkward things to happen, so...
Okay, so that was Beast, Final Destination, no items?
Yep.
Gotcha.
So I'm gonna draw a little bit of attention to the tracker. You'll see a smaller icon appear at the top right of each of those icons, and that actually shows a hint that I received. One over our friend Terra there tells me where he is over at the Xemnas 1 arena. Not an ideal arena to fight him, but I seem to find him there very often. I feel. More of those superstitions, apparently.
We know that Terra loves to camp out in Thresholder Arena or Xemnas.
Thresholder, Xemnas 1.
Or Luxord.
Luxord,
yeah.
Or Roxas.
Or Roxas. Yeah, so one of the unfortunate things about that Xemnas 1 arena, you're solo in that arena. So you are solo Sora versus Terra. Normally you have your party members, which means you have access to like your party member limits, like Duck Flare,
oh my gosh.
Whirligoof. That's insane.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, as someone who's more of a intermediate player of Kingdom Hearts, how much do your teammates actually make a difference in these fights, right? Like, I recall playing Kingdom Hearts 1 casually, and I felt like they didn't make as big of a difference. Are they big difference makers here in the randomizer, especially in tight spots?
On their own, yes and no. So their abilities are what's big. Having access to things like Comet or Duck Flare, Donald's limits are fantastic because they give you a lot of iframes. You can still act during it, and it does a lot of damage too. And then the other benefit is being able to go into the drive forms. So for instance, Final Form, you need 2 party members to go into Final Form. So if you're in the solo arena, you have no access to Final Form. Valor Form, you need Goofy. Wisdom Form, you need Donald. Limit Form, you can go in to at any point as long as you're solo Sora, basically. So Limit Form's always good to have. But without party members, you're locked out of your other forms.
Aw. I forgot to get that chest.
Surely it's not important.
Smile? I will say, Hallway Town's blue, so I know it's not.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So I'm just going to get some final levels really quickly. So something that's a little bit of a quirk in Boss Enemy Rando is I need nobodies to kill to level up my final, and sometimes they're a little more rare. So if you see a nobody, you need to remember where you saw it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, sometimes your final form will say level 1 the entire seed, which no one wants that.
Yeah.
So, in terms of taking notes for Randomizer, I'm glad you brought this up because I always get a lot of questions about this. Do you all have a notepad open or something to type into? How do you take notes during a Randomizer? How would you recommend someone who might be attempting this for the first time, Kingdom Hearts 2 specifically? How do you keep everything together? Because it's really difficult, right? There's a lot going on in this. I know trackers help, but what else?
The old noggin.
Are you serious?
Basically, per case, Rando, it's a lot of you rely on your tracker heavily when you first start out, and that's about it. There's nothing to take notes on. For boss randomization, you can see, like, again on Double's card, the boss can see the top right corner of pair data dynamics, for example.
I will say, I also have another tracker open that is telling me a lot more than what you guys are seeing. It's just a little cluttery for the sake of this.
Is it the one I'm thinking of, Double? Because I think I use
Yep.
that tracker. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
it is a
Yeah.
very helpful tracker, and the thing I like about that one the most is that the one that auto updates.
Yep.
Yeah, that's so nice.
I have an auto tracker up right now, so.
Yeah, I'm used to playing like Zelda 1 randomized, and you have to click on every single thing, and then you can misclick on stuff, and it's a nightmare, right? Especially when you don't know what happened. We all have
Zach-
randomizers like that, by the way.
Zach bringing up a very good point in chat.
Yeah.
That KH2 on PC does not accept background input. So if I'm tabbed off KH2, KH just doesn't even know I'm there.
Yeah, it makes taking notes very difficult. That's why I feel like every KG Rando player is so grateful for having an auto tracker at this point.
Oh,
Yeah.
I remember
Because
when we
other
did
than
it.
that, yeah, you basically the only time that you can put like things into your tracker is on the fade out from fights and loading back into the garden. So a lot of the time it's just like would have been managing, okay, I can put this stuff in my tracker now to keep track of it.
Yeah, cue my daily. Back in my day, we didn't even have track.
Now,
Yeah, tell me about
I
it.
want to ask about the tracker a little bit again, because I'm still learning too about the bingo portion. I noticed one of the bosses is in purple. I believe that's the one from LOD or Land of Dragons.
Yeah, that's
Does that
showing
mean
you.
that is that accessible? What does that exactly
So
mean?
that means I defeated them.
Yeah,
so,
so-
Oh, okay.
So this tracker does allow for some personalization with some colors of what there is. Purple's my favorite color, so that is my marking color.
This is a little bit scary. Okay.
Oh, I love
Good
the jumper plus
reflex,
the parry
yeah.
support.
Oh, I forgot I have air combo plus. There we go. I was about to fire him.
Wait a second. This is Sephiroth in here?
Yeah.
Done.
Oh, well, that was
Good
Sephiroth. Sorry.
fight by double.
Goodbye, son. Yeah, unfortunately, Sephiroth is actually my first son. So. Anyway,
Now,
Hey,
Yes.
That's
one last thing. I did notice that Sephiroth didn't have all those bars. I assume that the boss's health corresponds to the stage that it's in, correct?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
There's also an additional mod that we have that's called Boss Random Companion, which does a little bit better scaling. Well, better is a more consistent scaling across different worlds. So, you know, a little bit more of what you're
Yeah.
expecting.
Yeah, because this fight right here that Double's doing right now is actually a data fight. So normally this would be a battle level 99 fight and he'd have full health. But because it's being scaled down to the battle level of Beast Castle 1, he only has 3 bars.
So ideally, then, correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong. You very nice. You want to see like those types of bosses early. Then you do not want to see them where they normally are.
It depends.
Okay.
yeah, it heavily depends because of, like, for example, what if behind Sephiroth and Lexaeus, your explosion or your reflex or a ton of other good tools are there? You don't really, you want those tools to fight those bosses because they're still dangerous bosses at these lower battle levels.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that that was a one fight into the other. They were both super bosses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
double super boss. Another thing to note, I believe that there are 11 super bosses on your card.
There's
by
a
the
lot
way.
of them.
Yeah.
I picked up on that.
Was that intended, or was that just the way it was generated?
It was the way it was
Yeah,
generated.
that,
No.
yeah, that's rolled. So something really cool actually is, or like, it's just like a little quirk of it that we're kind of used to is when it comes to the organization members, the data fight and the normal fight are not treated as unique bosses in the pool.
Yeah.
Because then it'll be one a little repetitive. That you have to fight the same boss twice. But so anytime you find it, it's actually a 50-50 chance that you will see the data fight or the original. So that means every org member I have on here, I just rolled that it's a data. Except for Vexen,
Yeah.
thank God.
I was to say, except for Vexen.
I am thanking the gods for that. But so getting a little bit more of what people came for, getting some more bosses.
I'll tell you now, people love watching this show because they like watching the unexpected and the unfortunate situations, right? I mean, like, that's the appeal of watching randomizers, yeah? I mean, as a player, it's a little different, but, you know, watching it, we want to see something awkward happen.
Not that different.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you all want to see the most unfortunate situations when you're playing. I know, especially on here, right? Because on GDQ, for whatever reason, whether it's a speedrunner or a randomizer, sometimes the most awkward things can happen, right? Hence the "that's never happened before" tagline.
You should have said the thing.
The thing! Yeah.
Please don't crash. Okay. Hey, how's it going?
Have you been saving?
There's not.
So we play with an autosave mod. So basically, every time that there's a room transition, it will generate an autosave so you can load it.
He's going for a walk. Okay, we're good.
That was a walk, huh?
I was trying to proc an attack so I can get a good reflect in, and then he went for a walk, which means he was trying to get some good distance to start fireballing me. But I didn't want to let him do anything.
Question from the chat. Which boss is top right? I believe that's Roxas.
That's actually Riku.
That is,
Oh, that's
yeah,
Riku.
that's Riku
Okay.
from Land of Dragons 2, the fight on the summit.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so a little bit of a fun lore thing. During that point, Riku is hiding his identity, so he is a big, tall guy with the organization coat, and throughout the game, you're like, I wonder if that's Riku. And it's like, I don't know. And then you find out that's Riku, and then you fight him. It's not that bad of a fight. It's a little annoying, because when I do find him eventually, he does not stagger at all. You can damage him, and he doesn't have any, like resistances or anything, but he will move.
Yeah, Riku has a full brick wall, basically. Nothing you do, he'll react to at all. Like, you can throw up a magnet, which will, usually pull enemies in. He doesn't care. He'll keep doing whatever attack he's doing. He completely ignores it. Speaking of magnet, it's pretty good.
Magnet is pretty nice for these big mob fights that we're seeing right here. So another note is, because of the way the enemies randomization, the enemies are also scaled down to whatever battle level the world is in as well. So for example, the battle level there is like level 4 in Hollow Bastion. So all of the enemies have reduced health, which means they just died to a Magneto.
Yeah.
We're about to see something else fun here with the pirates. So normally, these pirates are immune in the moonlight. And Double has to be very careful here to not soft lock himself.
It's not really a soft lock.
Yeah, it's not a true soft
It's not
lock.
really a soft lock, but some people get stuck.
So,
they don't know to hit the
It's a little scary. That's another one of those fights where you need to either take damage or do enough hits. But because the pirates aren't vulnerable at all, you might kill all the pirates. You might be like, oh,
Yep.
I have no way out. There's a bag in that room that you can actually do hits to, funnily enough, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Cure technically does hits as
It
well
does.
for
It's
any
very
fight with hit
slow.
count. But if you need to do it, you need to do it.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh,
That's
limit
what I
form.
wanted. Actually, why I came here, I was looking for more forms to do that. I'm not complaining.
Yeah, so limit form is debatably the most valuable thing in boss enemy. It allows you to go into a form in solo arenas, making difficult bosses in solo arenas more reasonable. If you don't have, say, second chance and once more to survive combos, because this is being played on critical difficulty as well. Limit form is a safety net. You can pop into limit form, get your HP and MP back, or use the powerful limit that limit form has at its disposal as well. So very, very good tool to have.
Limit form is pretty good. Probably tied for like the best or most valuable form with final form.
Yeah.
Debatably which one's more powerful depending on the thing. One of the really powerful things about final form that people don't actually think about is getting to a pretty complicated system called anti-points. Basically every time, the more I use forms, the more likely I'm actually able to reach and actually get into anti-form, which, and if you play the game casually, you've probably gotten out all the worst times. But every time you go into anti-form, you lose 5 points, and when you go into final form, you actually lose 10 anti-points. So basically, if I go into final relatively frequently, you're never going to see anti-form.
Yeah.
Much to Ragnar's dismay, I'm sure.
No, it's fine. We're fine not seeing anti-form. Another one of the major downsides to anti-form, not only is it built in as a punishment, like to begin with. You take double damage. You have no consistent way to be able to survive or like iframe through stuff. I mean, its finishers have a lot of parry frames on it, so you can like parry attacks. But in general, it is almost always a death sentence, especially in boss enemy.
Let's go.
Good bit of Valor and limit form leveling there. Of course, we are stuck there for a minute, so you want to use that minute well. No. Oh, I knew that was going to happen.
The Galaxy music does not fit with Port Royale, I must say.
Yeah, but that's some of the fun of Music Rando is it's a little quirky. I did actually, a bit of a comment, some misconception I saw last time I did a randomizer run with Music Rando on here. This is all, like, when I say Music Rando, this is all being randomized per seed, so these aren't, like, specific, like, replacements I've picked or anything.
Yeah. If you wanted to set up your Music Rando that way, you can, though. Like, if you wanted to have a world have, like, for instance, Port Royal have music from a specific game or a specific set of tracks, you can set that up as well with Music Rando.
But sometimes you want a little bit more chaotic. If you want to be more chaotic Music Rando, you should go to Ragnarok's channel, because basically the Music Rando has a built-in separation between like battle music, the field music, but there's also an option you can pick that if you put everything into a folder labeled Wild, every song could be anywhere, and sometimes that is really funny if you're dearly beloved while you're fighting Terra, which I feel like Ragnarok has all the time.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the fun.
Yeah. I actually do have a number of the KH tracks actually removed from the pool here just because, surprisingly enough, playing the music that normally plays in this game can DMCA relatively easily.
Anger and hate are supreme.
Just casually, the final boss. I'll say another thing, makes me very sad, is this one will never be beta, because beta Final Zenith is a little broken, which makes me very sad, because it's one of my favorite fights actually in the game. Probably unpopular opinion among other people, but...
Yeah, so basically what ends up happening in the current version of the randomizer with Data Final Zemnis, when he's in his laser phase, he starts shooting the lasers and teleporting around Sora. Normally, him and his clone are synced up. So, like, he and his clone will spawn at the same time and shoot at Sora. But with the boss rando, unfortunately, the clone and Zemnis desync from each other. So Zemnis will shoot, and then right as Zemnis finishes shooting, his clone will spawn and start shooting. So it becomes very, very difficult.
Okay.
Nice.
I'll say. He cannot do his dome attack, because if he were to do it, the game would crash. So,
yeah.
It's very funny, because it wants Riku to be there for it. But even if you are in a party with Riku, it will also crash. So
yeah, it will still crash the game, unfortunately.
Yeah. Not though in Randomizer, for those that haven't seen it before, we also do have a really cool quirk that you can skip the dome the dome attack. I don't have my words today, I apologize. So that you don't have to sit through that minute and a half just talking to Elizabeth. Just seeing how she's doing. Sometimes you just press buttons and see what happens.
Oh,
This guy's supposed to be here.
That's no fun. People came here for boss enemy rando.
This was a randomizer.
So I was going to ask you, Double, what are you hoping to find next? Like, what is like your ideal order of what you would like to find next in here?
So I'm gonna find a way to phrase this that doesn't make Zed mad.
Oh. I know.
I have a
okay,
bit of a trolly phrase that I like to say that Bantu doesn't have routing. I don't mean that literally, mostly. But there are plenty of times I kind of just push buttons, go through worlds, and see what it gives me. Every boss I kill, I haven't brought this up yet, every boss I kill, I do get a hint for where another boss is, and I kind of just go off of that, and let the game tell me where to go.
Yeah, your hints, for the most part, direct you where you need to go to get your bingos. So, especially, like, again, if the boss, has like a picture in the top right corner of its square, that means we know where that boss is. So we're pretty much routing based off of that and where bosses aren't, which, you know, Double was still getting hints for bosses that are not on the card as well.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Quick question, Double. What level fire do you have?
I fire.
Okay. Just wondering for Mr. Demix.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Demix is data. I did not notice that.
Yeah,
I haven't looked at that.
yeah.
I don't want to do that fight.
There is only one organization member that isn't a data on your card.
I don't want to fight Data Demix.
Hey,
That's
at
not-
least he's in the room with party
It's
members.
fine. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Do you have to fight Datademics? Like, can you?
I mean,
like, get your
realistically,
bingos?
I know where he is.
Yeah.
And that's in the same world as good old Terra. So,
The other thing to note is both of those bosses are in the world that never was. There are 5 bosses there, and also 3 bosses in final fights. So after clearing the
You
world
wanna
that never
go there.
was, you get information for your final fights. So there are 3 bosses in the final boss gauntlet that you can, also be on your card. So Terra is blocking those 3 bosses.
he is doing that.
Oh, that Zigbar arena is not great either.
I mean, actually, I think it's not bad. I'm going to level up my wisdom to prepare for someone I don't want to fight, but you make sacrifices.
What better place to fight though than here on GDQ Hotfix? You know, like, might as well do it here of all places.
Sure.
But I get you though. Your bingo card looks very unforgiving right now. That's, I believe, the proper word for it.
Yeah, this is a pretty rude card.
But,
If I got this card in the competition, I would not be happy. But, you know, for a showcase like this is great.
yeah, I'm glad you guys are enjoying yourselves.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're not sitting with the controller in y'all's hands, all right? You might feel like a little differently if you were in double spot.
Yeah, no, if, watching this is a good show. You know, I get to see all of the bosses that put me through pain and suffering and watch someone else go through the pain and suffering.
Double just gave me all the side eye. I saw it.
That's also me looking at chat. So.
But the glance was perfect. It was right there.
I have very good practice to glance over at chat while I'm gliding around. So sometimes I will just glide like at a wall thinking I hit a load zone, but I didn't actually hit.
Oh no, chat's just big chilling right now. We're seeing some dancing emotes. People are enjoying the music.
Do you feel it? The moon's power.
Oh, lovely. Which one is this? Is this Data?
It's
Okay,
not. Okay.
Yeah, this is regular side, so he goes into Berserk at the start of the fight, and you need to get him out of Berserk by hitting him with his own weapon. And pretty much he should go down in like the final form or 2 here, W opposite for that strategy, and also a limit form. Pretty much we want to kill Science before his Berserk gauge goes all the way back up, because that means he'll turn invulnerable, and we'll have to put up with him and his shenanigans again. But Double got through it. Very clean fight.
Yeah, super clean. Nice triple reflect.
That's a nice ability we just got there.
Yeah, it is.
All right, win condition. Let's go.
Oh,
Oh,
no, I'm not doing it.
Oh,
I'm not.
I mean, you can.
Maybe the next category. Here, I'm gonna try my best not to use it. So the horizontal slash shaped elephant in the room is that there's a cheese strat in this game called Berserk Horizontal Slash, where with the correct timing, I can do horizontal slashes forever to keep a boss unlocked and be able to kill them relatively easily. I say easy and with big asterisks because it is a very difficult time to keep up, especially with all the mental games of how long you have to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's very divisive strategy.
And so that's a great way to put it. The other thing is it is limited by your MP bar. If you're once your MP comes back, you will no longer be able to chain the Berserk Charge infinitely, or the horizontal slash infinitely, since it uses Berserk Charge, which gives you infinite combos as long as your MP is empty.
I don't like this guy. At least he's on the card though.
It's not a terrible place for him.
It's probably making it sound like I don't like any boss in this game. I don't.
I was thinking it, but you said it.
So the problem with hostile program is this is another one of those bosses.
It's actually a very small arena to worry about right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if those will kill me. Okay, they won't. No, we're
fine.
chilling.
Yeah, no, this isn't that bad. Hostile program likes to go around in the perfect circle as well. Well.
That should have given me iframes. I feel kind of scammed, especially because I was matching reflect out of it.
Yeah.
I should have been alive there.
You disagree, in other words.
The game definitely disagrees. I can be positive of that.
I get that. I've had that happen. Best thing I can do is tell the game, yo, I disagree, and then get it the next time. I think it heard you say, I don't like this, Double. I'm going to say that that's what caused it.
Oh, so it's my fault.
Well, I mean, it's the game's fault. It just heard you. It was just listening.
It heard you. It was like, I don't like this.
That's
all right.
Just wanted to give you something to not like.
For this.
Yeah, probably.
So unfortunately, now my strength is below the floor. So you might be wondering why I'm not just opting to pick up the clusters and go for the freeze thing. There's a little bit of a weird thing with 60 FPS and boss enemy together that make those run out very fast.
Yeah. So basically, all of the meters that you'll see in the top left, if a boss is in an arena that does not have one of those meters normally, those bars will fill up or deplete at 2 times the speed. So for hostile program, it will be frozen for half the time that it would be in its normal arena here, unfortunately. And that goes for stuff like, oh my.
So you'll see how fast that is going away. But this
yeah.
Oh,
right,
nice
well
kill
done.
though. That was good. That was good. But yeah, I did watch the bar deplete, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. That causes some unfortunate issues with some fights. For instance, Data Psyx and Vexen and Data Vexen are probably the most notable. For instance, Data Vexen, his little data circle that spawns Anti-Sora, spawns underneath you at the start of the fight. But because the bar fills up twice as fast, by the time that you have control of Sora, yeah, Data Vexen summons Anti-Sora immediately, basically. So you have to deal with that instantly, rather than having time to, get space or what have you.
Hopefully get some nobodies here, something I can level off of.
Yo, Sonic's here. Hey, Sonic, what's up? Feel like that's kind of tied to frame rate. What do you mean by that?
Yeah.
I assume
it's
like what we're
the
talking
60
about.
FPS
Gotcha. Okay.
change that happened
So-
with the port.
Yeah. Even like when the port first came out on PS4 was the first one to have 60
Yes.
FPS, right? Yeah, so on the PS4 versions, all the meters filled up at twice the speed, but there was eventually a patch to make it fill normally. And my assumption, don't quote me on it, I don't know. I think the way that the boss enemy rando works, it doesn't take into effect the thing that fixes those double filling meters, basically. So if you're playing at 60 FPS, they will fill at twice the speed and drain at twice the speed.
Okay, so... Okay, close. And from here... I'm gonna do a little bit of prep for a fight I don't want to do, but
Again, to bring back, is there any fights you want to do? I'm just giving you a hard time.
Very few people want to do this fight. I will say that at least.
Yeah. So again,
This is
you received a compliment in chat, Double, about the way you navigate menus, and I assume this is about how everyone in this voice call would navigate menus. I mean, do y'all have like a strategy for that, or is that just over time you just kind of get better at knowing where things are? What's your strategy there?
it's mostly muscle memory is a really big thing. You kind of just learn where things are. When I'm playing games that I don't know where things are, then I'm going to go much slower.
Yeah. I was gonna say one benefit of Cage 2 is all of its menus have the things in the same spot, regardless of what you're missing. So like, it will always be in the general area of the menu, regardless of what abilities you have or don't have. So you know the general area of the hook.
Yeah, for example, this magic menu that Double was cycling through to get these data damage clones to work how he wants the clones to work, they are all in the same spot all the time. So they'll always be, fire will always be first, and then blizzard will always be a down input from fire, and that's how you can navigate that way. If you're menuing magic manually like Double is. Because you only have 4 slots on your shortcut menu, and you usually want to reserve those for like your reflect, your magnets, your thunders. Stuff that you wouldn't want the menu, you wouldn't want to use immediately at the press of a button.
Yeah, menuing reflect can be a little awkward, but that's usually the only one that I have much issue menuing, but that comes with practice.
Yeah.
Come on. There we go. So, you might be thinking, why are you so worried about data dynamics? You're going through it so quickly. So, I may be doing a lot of damage. There. Okay.
Good
Well,
placement.
that's actually a great place for him.
Now I have to go through another set of clones, and the last one's going to be a 99 set of clones, which a very gracious change was that these timers are increased per thing, just because at the time you could also fight this guy solo, which was not ideal. But I did try to get him in a corner here, which should make these clones much easier to deal with.
Yeah.
And this is the last one right before the 99. And I forgot to put on combo pluses, that's fine. I got finishing pluses.
Yeah,
at
you should be
least.
fine with this placement. Yeah.
Music for this fight, though, is perfect for this. I love it.
I love Halberd.
Same.
Oh my gosh. Alright, we're just fine.
Well done.
There
Very
you
good
go.
fight.
Well executed. That's a really tough fight. Well done there, Double.
So the reason I really dislike that fight is just because it just takes forever. Even like, I was doing like mostly speed strats for that. The only way I could have made that faster is if I like had Duck Flare to work with. That can make quick work of data dynamics. But realistically, I was doing what I could. I don't like that.
Yeah, that seems like a really unforgiving timer there. I mean, again, like you said, you were doing speed strats. The only thing you didn't have was Duck Flare there. So in terms of this, how much familiarity would someone have to have in order to do the randomizer? Are there different difficulty settings one
Yeah.
can pick for this? Like, how does one get
Yeah.
into Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer? Like, what would
Absolutely.
Yeah, what would beginner settings look like, for instance?
So, you mind if I take
Yeah,
this?
go ahead.
So, first of all, we have some settings geared towards beginners in the generator presets that are meant to be played on beginner difficulty, and it has super bosses turned off and stuff like that. And I always recommend people to start with the beginner settings. And it starts you with the easiest hint system to understand as well, which is the shenanigans type hint system, where once you get the last check in a world, last important check, the tracker will tell you that you are done with that world and you do not need to push it anymore for important checks. So that is like some beginner settings. We also have our fresh faces settings that one of our known TOs and tracker developers, Rubber Maniac, developed, that basically embraces the randomness of Rando and really gets you around to like routing and stuff like that, and also uses that shenanigans type of hint system. For Boss Hunter specifically, all of the bosses are still randomized except Datas are not in the pool, and Terra and Sephiroth are always vanilla. But other than that, like all of the bosses are still randomized. You play on beginner, and it makes things much easier to get into.
Yeah,
And,
another thing I will say is the generator does have a lot of customization options for like people who are starting out. Like you can set it so
Absolutely.
important checks are, earlier in the world or easier to find on average and stuff like that to make, the learning process go smoother and things of that nature. And obviously you can turn off like datas or other difficult content. Like you can turn off the world that never was entirely if you're not confident with fighting the bosses there or what have you.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have some great resources in the K2FM Randomizer Discord, where we have a pretty out of date, but I do plan on updating it at some point before the next 1 hour season boss guide that is like an all-in-one boss enemy rando guide for every boss, and it goes over some little specifics that only happen in boss rando outside of their home arenas. There's also just some great routing guides and shotgun guides. So yeah, just if you want to get into the rando, just basically check out the Discord, check out the generators things, put on what you're comfortable with, and give it a shot.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna happen.
And I do want to give a big shout out to anyone who's ever written a randomizer guide, because that really helps out someone get started, right? That's one of the toughest parts of randomizer is getting started on it. Sometimes you'll watch people play it, you may feel this might be a little too difficult, but folks who write guides and create beginner settings, like that's really critical, and that's a conversation I feel like we need to have on these episodes, is because you can do this. I mean, this is a lot of fun, and you can eventually build up those difficulty settings as you become more familiar.
Yeah, I used to be kind of tutorial guy for a little while. Because I made a tutorial for a couple notable skips being on the randomizer, namely Core Skip and Sean U Skip. But something that's definitely, I forgot to even mention I'm fighting this guy now. Maybe I should save my comment for later. I'm so dead.
We'll let you focus.
That's a
here,
really
don't
bad
worry.
outfit. It's fine. It's just Terra.
It's
Yeah,
just Terra.
It's just Terra.
In the world that never
It's
was.
fine.
I feel like we're playing a game of Clue here. It was Terra in the world of never was with this enormous cleaver,
Yeah. So, but which room did I kill her then?
Yeah, exactly.
So what's a little awkward for someone that's a little more comfortable at this fight is keeping an eye on his HP gates, because there are certain HP thresholds that once I reach, he will guarantee retaliate and go to next phase. And while I definitely know that when I'm looking at his actual health bar, oh no.
This is rough.
The cheater
actually
layout.
Hey. It's not cheating.
Oh, okay, you got him.
It's being creative with your thinking.
No, I mean I was talking about the boss cheating.
That's just randomizer.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah,
True.
that's just Terra being Terra, but Double actually got
Yeah.
rid of the lasers there really quickly.
What was this? Is
But when Terra spawns the lasers, like when he's attacking, it's the worst.
what was on the pause screen? It says fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so normally when you pause, there's info text for the fight that you're doing in like the base game.
Yeah.
But with boss enemy rando, that doesn't follow the bosses, so it just
Oh.
gets replaced by fake text.
Gotcha. I was like, what is that? But yeah, I guess
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
make sense given that context. Yeah.
All right.
So somebody asked, is Sephiroth in this boss rush? Yeah, Double already took care of
I
it.
already got him.
I blinked and Sephiroth was gone. Yeah, that was in Beast Castle and everything scales. So not as many health meters here as Terra
All right.
has here. Anyways, go ahead, y'all. Wow!
Well done.
Wonderful Terra fight, yeah.
Even with the bad pattern, very well done.
No, the way you got around the bad pattern was actually like really creative and nice. But I don't think if I got that pattern, I would have lost that fight. So I'm impressed.
My jaw dropped. Oh my
I think that
gosh.
should go on automatically, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, I was making sure.
I'm-
Yeah, so we have one boss in final fights.
I'm so impressed.
Okay, that's it.
Like, I know you all see this every day, but like me, and I bet you there's folks in chat going, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very comfortable with that fight. and it's a lot of fun. I'll say one of the most. This is my favorite category. I predict Ragnarok also has a similar opinion.
Yeah.
Just because when you have like a general understanding of these bosses, it might seem like, oh, you know how to fight that boss, you do the same thing, whatever you want. But when you don't necessarily know when you're going to see them, you can't really prepare as well, and there's a little bit more improv to it. It's a lot of fun, and it really rewards the more you know about that boss.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this one will be fun.
Yeah, this is Data 7.
Oh yeah, you can do some cool stuff here. Yeah, see how Double's getting all these reflect damage off on Data Zemnis? That's only because he's a lion. Lion Sword strats can also be like really fun depending on what boss you get where. Shoutouts to Terra, formerly being in this arena.
Hey, he's dead.
Yo, the MP Rage?
That was MP Rage, yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking at my hints to see what I can work with here. I feel like I should go to OC here. Based on my hints, because that will lead to a bingo. Though I will have to commit to the entire world. And also, OC is a pretty good place to go because I will also find out what Hades is, because in Hades Escape you will also be randomized to whatever that boss is. That's awful. Maybe I won't do this. I don't like that.
That's gonna be
experiment.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that's gonna be the title of the episode. Double doesn't like that.
Yeah, experiment is one of the more trickier bosses in Boss and Rando because experiment likes to get a sucker punch in at the start of the fight because of the way positioning works. In the vanilla arena, experiment is far enough away from Sora where Sora will not get hit by the opening attack immediately. But in Boss Enemy Rando, where Sora is positioned a lot closer to bosses, experiment will just sucker punch you at the start of a fight and you can't do anything about it unless you frame perfect time and aerial dodge or dodge roll.
Yeah, I find dodge roll easier, but I know some people prefer the aerial dodge.
The other unfortunate thing is that means that experiment is going to be in an arena with Hercules, and Hercules is not your friend.
The jerk.
No.
Herc is the jerk.
Hercules, I prefer to call him Herc. You should leave.
Agreed.
That's harsh.
In general, Herc will take fights that are completely controlled and completely ruin it because all of his attacks do a lot of knockback and can force bosses to retaliate. So you can be like starting up a finisher or something like that, and then Herc will hit the boss. Your finisher will miss. The boss will hit you in response and stuff like that. It's just not a good time.
Yeah. So sorry about that. There are a lot of that's another thing that's really common that people don't really think about with this game, that of how much like you might think like seeing someone in a different arena can completely change how you approach it, whether it is maybe an early game boss that you don't really think about because it's such low health, but then you see it in a data arena and you never thought of having to do this fight for like a few minutes. Some of those fights can definitely be really, really tough. Like Scar was one that I mentioned, and having to do that fight in a data arena, especially with that second chance once more, is gosh, Surcharge is staring at me. Really trying to tempt me. But...
Yeah, there's definitely a handful of bosses that, or not even just bosses, arenas in general that are overall just like completely change the dynamic of a fight. Like Barbossa Arena, for instance, you have Jack Sparrow as a forced party member. That means you can't switch your Jack out, and it means that you can't go into your double forms, so you can't use Master Form or Final Form. You can't summon in that arena and things of that nature.
Yeah, that's a really tough arena.
Yeah, if you have a boss like Terra or Sephiroth there, that completely changes the way that you have to approach that fight.
Yeah, shout out to the last boss hunter I did on Hotfix. That's where I had Terra.
Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing too that Ragnarok didn't mention is the geometry of that arena is absolutely awful.
That's a really big thing.
You have, it's like if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But there's a treasure chest in the middle on top of its little altar, and then there's these ledges against the wall. It's not a great arena at
It's
all.
really not. It's very frustrating. And depending on the boss, for instance, like Sephiroth can be on one of those ledges, start an attack.
Yep, and then
he'll
cancel
fall
it.
off the ledge, cancel the attack, and go into a different action immediately. There's a lot of stuff like that, and arenas play a really big part in boss enemy for how you handle fights. Another arena that's interesting to think about would be the Twin Lords arena at the end of Agrabah 1, because you fight 2 bosses in there, and they're both randomized. So that'll be a fun one.
Yeah, I do actually know what one of those bosses are replaced with, so I'm debating whether I want to go there. One of those bosses is Scar, which is not on the card. Well, maybe I go there just to show off how that fight happens.
This arena right here is one of those arenas that we were talking about earlier with Herc.
Oh yeah.
And not only Herc, but also some additional enemies. Yeah, it's an awful arena.
Another quirk about this arena is every form of Pete will be randomized with Volcano Lord here, which would also refer to the final Pete fight in Timeless River, if I decide to go there.
Yep.
So one of those things is a little interesting that you might find the same boss in different places, which can lead to some different routing. So always fun. So this is a really cool fight. I'm going to call this a now you see him, now you don't. I didn't get it. I wanted the wrong thing. All right, fine. Now you don't.
Had to work up to it.
Build up the suspense. I'm not finding a lot of things on the card, not gonna lie.
Yeah, no, this is a little bit rough.
Maybe a little bit on the longer side.
No, that Vexen.
Yeah, the Vexen hint is what I'm looking at too.
I will say, I'm glad that both Sephiroth and Terra have interesting fights in those arenas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Terra having Dark Throne being not a fight I want to do.
Yeah, those spirits are probably gonna hurt a lot, huh?
God, they're a nuisance enough normally.
Let's go.
Is that
So, yeah,
only
we
the
got-
second nobody type that you've seen?
I've seen Dragoons, Dancers.
Oh, you did see
and
Dragoons,
Reapers.
okay.
They were just early
Okay,
in
yeah.
OC, so I couldn't actually take advantage of them.
Gotcha.
Large bodies are Dragoons. And Creepers, I want to say, replaced Rabbit Dogs,
That would make sense. Okay.
given what I've seen. I'm a little congested still.
Okay. So we have this fight here, and then we have the fight experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Get to Blizzard Lord on Zexion.
Gather.
You don't do this chilling.
Yeah.
You're watching the late show.
You're just like, wow, there goes my friends. We're gonna chill over here.
Oh, nothing to do with that.
We'll leave. It's fine. Anything interesting yet? I do have a comment, and I think I'm not trying to use. All right, we'll get rid of that one now. Sorry, chat. Mainly Matt.
No more. Hey, you got good usage out of it, though.
I really wanted to do the Lexaeus thing, even though he was already so close to dead.
Yeah.
That's just such a cool strat. See, that's the thing. Not only is it just like, oh, how fast can I beat this boss? Sometimes I just want to have fun, and I'm like, ooh, this would be cool. So, like, in the Threshold arena, I get bats to work with, and bat cries are a really fun thing to see if I can find a use out of it.
I mean, we're not on too strict of a time thing, and you're not in a tournament, so yeah, I mean, you want to have fun, have fun.
Oh, we're gonna have fun. Okay, this is annoying. I'm gonna have to just do this. I think I should still reach hits relatively fast. Especially for that. Damn. The combo.
There goes Herc.
Not too bad.
So I have a funny story about this boss in this arena. I actually had Herc break apart experiment in its last phase for me once. You can do that. It's really funny. Just hits him with the one-hit punch.
Riku became armor 2. That's 2 things in... that doesn't respawn. Sorcerer is not respawning. It's so annoying.
So you actually have like a really tricky route to go about this.
Yeah.
Like you have guaranteed go mode, but it's not a good go mode on your card. So what Double can do is Double can push all of HB2 to get to the Sephiroth Arena for Vexen, all of Disney Castle to get to the Terror Arena for Darkthorn, and most of LOD2 to get to the Riku Arena for Armored 2.
Yeah.
That's really, really slow though. Like, we want to try and find like an out to this sort of go mode as we can.
Yeah, probably go Agrabah to see if I can avoid some things here. Just because there's not that many things hinted. I still have one thing left on Twin Lords. One of those I don't know what is. There goes Twin Lord. Yeah, and then I don't know what June Farlick's ASR. I don't think. Actually, I think I know what AS is. No, I don't.
I was getting to say also, Genie Jafar and the other Twin Lord could possibly have Sark. Like, that's a high chance to be Sark.
Yeah.
Because you're almost out of bosses that could be in those arenas. So, like, that's another cool thing about boss hunter routing, and we'll talk about this a little bit in the 1 hour challenge as well, is that you have to sometimes use negative information to figure out where bosses can be. And what I mean by that is there are only so many bosses that can be in Genie Jafar Arena because you're on a carpet, and Sora can only fight certain bosses on a carpet without the game breaking.
There are more bosses that work there than you'd think, though.
Yeah,
so
true.
Don't think like, oh, there's only 2 bosses we can see there. Like, there's a lot, actually.
There's about, I think the number is, I want to say the number is 12.
I was gonna say it's either 12 or 13, I think.
I think, I want to say the number is 12.
But that is like,
that's like a quarter of the bosses in the game.
Pretty significant amount.
So, however, we fought a lot of bosses, or a lot of bosses that can be in those arenas have already been hinted. So, we can possibly rule out that Sark could be in those arenas, and it's very likely that he is.
This should be a relatively fast fight. Oh, unless I get interrupted immediately. We're gonna get some familiar faces from Space Paranoids all together. Have the timing well to make sure that I did that explosion at the right time to kill the Reckless as they spawned in. I don't want any chests anymore.
That's another thing about Boss Hunter compared to other randomizer categories is that you can just stop picking up chests if you feel comfortable enough to take on whatever's left in the game. Yep, there's Sark.
Bingo for us. And there's one of my favorite fights in the game.
Yeah, Scar as a boss is really, really frustrating to fight.
Yep. He's going to be man.
Here's 2 very contrasting bosses
No.
here.
Hey, this arena's fun. I like double fights as a concept. Like, they're really cool. You can get some really messed up stuff here, though. Like, the last time we've been on Hotfix for Boss Hunter, we had Data Axel and Future Peak here, and that was really fun.
So, there's the first proper bingo. I do have it set so the line does turn gold. It's a little fun thing there. Like I said, there's a lot of personalization here. And that actually gave me a hint which tells me what's on Jafar.
Oh.
Which is Thresholder, which would lead to something, but then I'm gonna have to go to Riku. Do a bit of a Hail Mary. I'm gonna go see what's on. Actually, I know it's on Pass B. I see that too.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Go tripping over myself, trying to figure out what to do. Halloween Town's also left unaccounted for.
Have you gotten hints for Space Paranoids?
Not for Sark or Lexine at this point. That's all I have left there.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Here, though.
Yeah.
I see in chat someone asking how many bingos we need to see. In order to finish this run, we need 3 bingos. Now, Double does have final fights prepped, so he effectively has a bingo and can get a bingo whenever he wants in final fights. So we're just looking at, we're trying to figure out where this last bingo can be. And Double is basically making a Hail Mary here, trying to find something that isn't hinted to hopefully get himself out of a slower go mode, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe I just don't like some of those fights. So, it sounded like a broken record, I'm sure. I like this game, I promise. Someone's gonna clip that and use it against me, I'm sure.
I'm just messing with you. Randomizer can sometimes be just a really stressful experience, right? And, like, it depends on what sequence you get things, what you have. So I get it. When you say you don't like something, like, you don't like the scenario, not necessarily the boss of the game.
It's a good way to look at it. More cards. I'm not. Alright, this can be a pretty tough fight sometimes. No, the fight's
All right, now time for the real boss. No, now it's time for the real boss. All right.
We got a par.
We got
Nice.
par. Congrats.
No bogey today. It's actually really hard to aim those, especially when your party members will, for some reason, still attack them, even though they're already on the ground, which will move them around. And that can be really, really annoying.
The amount of times I've had Jack use his fire spell and just push one of the kids all the way to the corner, it's not fun.
No! It's fine. Want to do something cool. No! You!
Oh,
You!
that's so unfortunate.
That was so mean.
You have the stage hazard? You got him with the stage hazard, though?
Good WWE move there. A little graphic if you think about it, like guillotine.
Yeah.
We have a question from the chat. Can your allies be random as well?
Yes and no.
Yes.
Well,
And no. It is an option. It's not fully stable, to my knowledge.
it is.
I want to say
Party
Sonic
member
has done a
rando is
number
very,
of
very
testing with
broken.
that. Alright. So 2 unhinted bosses as far as I remember. That's Data Luxer.
Ooh.
That's not what I want to see. Ooh, that's not good.
Oh, no.
Fun.
He's not playing nice either.
And not the good RNG. We really want Data Luxer to play the mini game here instead of jumping away, like right now. And what Double's going to try and do is play the mini game, and it's going to decrease his time gauge. Yeah, it's very fast and very hard. It's not an easy boss fight at all.
It's a, it is,
Just give me
it
one-
is honestly a mental game.
Yeah.
It's really rough to not get
Especially
about it.
because we've talked about this before, but some bosses don't work as intended in some arenas. Data Luxer does not play nicely in a lot of arenas because the time gauge will not deplete as much as it should when a mini game is played in some arenas.
And he really is just not playing nice.
No.
Oh, nice. Unreal.
Yeah, this is
Dude,
awful RNG.
Give the mini game.
Honestly,
Okay, there
we're
we
close
go.
enough that I'm actually just gonna
Yeah,
see if
I
can-
agree.
Alright, we're in. And this is DM.
Nice
So-
Christmas tree.
Ragnar, do you want to explain what DMs or desperation moves are?
Yeah, so at certain points of a boss's health bar, if they're able to, they're not in a combo or what have you, they are able to go into a desperation move where it's basically their last ditch, like super attack. Some bosses can do multiple in a row, for instance. But the idea, I'm gonna be quiet just for a second.
Here you go.
Nice. The idea is during this attack, you can't do any damage to them. You just have to survive. And then you usually get the punish of some kind afterwards. But basically, it's their finishing attack. You could think of it as a limit for a boss in the same way that limits for Sora works.
Yeah.
Because if you look, like, the screen darkens the same way that it does if you use a limit as Sora.
I've never thought about that. You'll learn me something. Hey, there's that Riku guy.
Hey, there he is.
And that's Riku. This is not looking good.
Yeah.
No.
This Hail
it's
Mary did
not.
not work out the way I wanted it to.
Unfortunately, no.
Looks like LOD is probably my best bet right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah, shout out to Ragnar.
So, the reason why LOD is like not an appealing pick in Boss Hunter is because that's how long the world is. Like honestly, a couple of worlds suffer from this too.
Yeah.
But like with LOD, you have to do the 3 missions, and you have to climb the mountain trail, and then there's the cave fight, and then there's the minute fight, and then you finally get to fight a boss.
Yeah.
So
LOD
it's just,
is probably the longest world to get to a singular boss, but at least the following 2 bosses are really fast. It's just LOD kind of has a speed limit on how fast you can go. Once you're one-shotting the Heartless, you can't go any faster.
right.
There's also a minute fight that I cannot speed up, and it'll just sit there for a minute. And a minute doesn't sound like a lot, but it
feels pretty
like
awful.
several. Feels like an hour.
Yeah, Port Royal suffers from this as well, but there is a trade-off for Port Royal that LOD doesn't have. Port Royal is a higher battle level, so you can use that minute fight to level up Sora if you go there early enough and you're in the sea there and whatnot. Whereas LOD is a very low battle level.
Yeah,
so,
more importantly, you also have your party members in PR, so you can level Valor Form, Limit Form, or Master Form during that minute fight, or Sora himself is the battle level. Whereas in LOD, the only benefit you can get to it is just leveling Limit Form.
There's also a little bit of a minor trade-off. You do get a lot of money from both of those fights too. So if you're starved for money and so you don't have like ethers or whatnot, because we are the settings that we're playing have all enemies drop money on, you get a lot of money.
I'll say in chat, someone asked about the main hub song. The GOA song replacement is a Celeste song.
Magnet is killing all these enemies because Sora's stats are very, very high, and this is level 3 Magnet in a low battle level world. So the battle level of LOD1 is like, what, 6 or something like that?
Like
It's very low.
And Double, what's your magic set at right now?
that'd be 47.
Yeah, so that is over the ceiling for LOD1's battle level. So Magnet is doing the maximum damage it can possibly do.
Though technically, in mob fights, that cap is actually not there.
Higher.
Homie chest, hear me out. There are 2 things that are here that I would like, but it's fine. I don't actually need it.
What are you looking for?
Second chance and thunder above here.
Oh, gotcha.
But
Okay.
who needs that boring second chance ability anyway? Honestly, I swap the thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah! come on. How did they go over? Whatever. Fine, we'll reach the next one.
Good question. Chad asks, what do the colors mean in the tracker? What's purple versus orange? I assume the orange-yellow color is for the bingo and purple is just the individual bosses.
Yes.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Purple is a boss that has been defeated, whereas the yellow gold is a completed bingo.
I know it hurts you to refer to gold as a color.
It's not metallic, so it's not gold. It's just yellow.
I know.
Looks more like an orange creamsicle to me. I don't know.
Oh, it kind of does.
See, even living mode's very scary enemy. Not much to worry about here.
Okay, so we're finally going to be coming up on our first boss here. We just have one more force mob fight.
Of course, Chad. If any of y'all have any questions for our fantastic runner and commentators, please let me know. Again, we have the 1 hour challenge happening after this, so plenty of Kingdom Hearts 2 here tonight on Random Number Generation. Also, please be sure to follow Dewey, Ragnoth, and Zeticus. Please, all of their links are right there. Y'all typically stream a lot of Kingdom Hearts. I know some of y'all stream a variety of randomizers. Feel free to plug yourselves and let us know what's going on with y'all.
Yeah, so I know Ragnoth has been playing a lot of KH3 rando as well recently.
Yeah, as of late, I've been playing a lot of KH3, but I mainly stick to Kingdom Hearts 2 rando, just like as a whole, be it just about any settings. If there's tourneys going on, I'm probably playing those settings, but other than that, I do a lot of boss enemy stuff, and yeah, in general, just a lot of KH2.
For me, I also do mainly Kingdom Hearts 2. Lately, I've been messing around with an upcoming generator update that's in beta. Lots of cool stuff. If you want to check out some beta settings that will be in the next generator, you know, feel free to check out my channel. I've been playing around with a lot of that stuff. I've also been playing a lot of Paper Mario 64 Randomizer recently. I'm a part of the league for that, and I actually have my second match of that tonight.
Good luck, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I just play a variety of randomizers alongside KH2, but KH2 is my main focus.
Now, I know Double plays a variety of randomizers. Double and I actually have a show coming up later on next month, and I believe we're doing some Talkative, right? From Super Mario
In a
Odyssey.
manner of speaking, we're actually testing a tool called Talkatool, which allows you to do a lot of the stuff done with Talkatool, but through a web client, so that people can race it and be on the same scene.
That's so cool. I can't wait to see that one. Do we have any Donkey Kong 64 randomizer fans, either in the chat or in the call?
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
I like
That's
watching
where
it.
I would go with it.
Yeah, I like watching it.
Yeah, that's been a fan favorite here, both in chat and lately. It's been a really popular rando, DK64 randomizer. But yeah, so how do you feel about the seed right now, Double? Do you feel like it's winding down? Do you feel like there's still
Oh yeah,
a lot of...
it's winding down. I'm
winding
on my
down?
way to my last couple bosses.
Very cool.
Yeah, I am actually, after doing these two escorts, I have one boss, and then I'm actually going to final fights and get my final boss. So, don't think that means that these fights are going to be easy. The fight that I have to do in here is at David's Alden. Not an ideal fight. I might be going for something mildly interesting on that.
Let's go. Yeah, this way.
Oh, I like the music in here. Gotta love that curtain.
This way. Let's go.
Technically King DDG's theme, but you know.
This way. Let's go.
Such a good song.
Oh yeah.
It is very good.
This way. Gather. This way. Gather.
Everybody's favorite part of the game, the Minnie Mouse escort quest.
Yeah, at least we have magnets.
Yeah.
This way.
Mm-hmm.
This way.
Makes it go a lot
Minnie's putting in
faster.
work though.
Yeah.
Right at the end.
Minnie. Every time.
Nice.
Well done.
All right, we're gonna go for something that's kind of a meme. Yeah, I'm just gonna say that.
So my question for you is, do you think there will be any yeeting of the bear tonight?
There will be no. There are
no.
no balls in there,
Unfortunately,
unfortunately.
no. Yeah.
I know on some of the boss hunter sets, yeeting the bear, I've seen it on Spikes at least when he has like the not necessarily bingo, but like a line of bosses to fight across the bottom of his screen.
Oh yeah, hit list.
Yes, that was
That's
the
one of the more. That's a very popular non-boss enemy format where you try and kill all of the bosses on a hit list, and time is when you get 7 out of 9 of the bosses, I believe.
7 out of
is
8.
What it is?
7
7
out
out
of
of 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to explain the strat that I just went for?
Yeah, so Double tried the genie cancel, which is when you get a combo extension off of switching genie forms in the middle of the combo, so you can infinitely do a combo while constantly switching genie forms. It's very hard.
Yeah, so every time that genie swaps forms, it will just reset your combo count basically. And so you can do 2 horizontal slashes, switch genie's form, do 2 more horizontal slashes, switch genie's form. So what that would be input wise is 2 square inputs, 2 down or up menu inputs to get to the form for genie, and then 2 circle or confirm inputs, I should say, to change genie's form, and then repeat that over and over again.
So it's like 5
And,
inputs in nanoseconds repeatedly, as long as you can really do it.
Yeah, and that functionally works exactly the same as the Berserk horizontal slash loop that we were talking about way earlier in the seed. So much more input intensive and very difficult.
I was close enough.
Back off. Okay.
So we got our first boss coming up here, and it is Prison Keeper. And this is actually the last boss we need.
Also,
Let's go.
take note of Prison Keeper's health. That's more than Terra had in the world that never was. So Prison Keeper is one of the reasons why we used one of the mods in the boss Rando Companion. If Prison Keeper's in a battle level 99 arena, and you have scan on, if you see his health bar, it crashes the game because I believe it overflows.
Yes.
Yes.
It is
And it
higher
causes
than
a
it can
crash.
display.
So yeah, that's fun.
You can get around that by just taking off scan. It's really funny.
Yeah. Prison Keeper and Sephiroth are the 2 bosses that have that happen.
2, 3. Yeah.
And time will be when double. Yep, right here.
That's it.
Dang, suddenly time.
Very symmetrical board. Nice to see.
That was really fast. Like when you said you were winding down, you meant you were winding down.
Yeah, technically time is up, but why not? We'll do these next 2 bosses because we're here.
Yeah, why not?
You know, I will say, you didn't have to fight Data Zoltan.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You could have just had your final fights for a double bingo on row 5 and column 4.
I do want to remind you all, by the way, this will not be the end of our show once we're done. I do have some announcements on behalf of GDQ, then we're going to go on a
That is 4
break.
bingos.
4 bingos. What?
It is 4. That's more than I'm supposed to go for.
Wow. Overachiever here. But, yeah, so we're going to have the 1-hour challenge coming up. So if you missed the timer aspect for Mercy Kill, no, we're not going to cut Double off from the run, but we're going to see if Double can beat the timer to an hour. It'll be a fun time. That was beautiful.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, GG's.
All right.
GG's.
Well, GG's here. And again, there will be more of this wonderful Kingdom Hearts 2 cast here. And again, I will have some announcements on behalf of GDQ, but before I do that, please be sure you give everyone a follow here. That's Double, Ragdoth, and Zed. All of their Twitch addresses are there, so please be sure to do that. There is no reason to not follow all three of them. They are all fantastic. So again, thank you so much for being on the show so far. Cannot wait to have the 1 hour challenge, and I do hear it is going to get pretty intense, so I look forward to that. I see it on double space over here. All right, folks, real quick before we go to our wellness break, I do want to let you know that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're watching on YouTube, hello, it's wonderful that y'all are joining us. Please be sure to press the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, everyone, be sure to stay hydrated, stretch, and we'll be right back with random number generation. Welcome back to Random Number Generation. I am joined here by Double A Dewey and our fantastic commentators again. We have Zed, we have Ragnar, and we are doing some more Kingdom Hearts 2 Randomizer for the second half of the show tonight. We are doing the 1 hour challenge, and we were talking during the break. I believe y'all submitted this for SGDQ. So we were talking about, let us know what games you're excited to see. Tell us a little bit about the submission and the submission process before we get started.
Yeah, myself and another very beloved random player, Jared Weekstrike, submitted 1 hour challenge as a race. And you might be thinking, how do you race a category that takes an hour? The kicker with this category is there's a point total that you'll see at the bottom right of my screen, that yellow number there. That is the amount of everything I do will give me points, whether it is the checks that I find, bosses I kill, objectives I complete. There's a lot of this is a really complicated category, and I'm sure my commentators are going to be able to take it all away in a moment. But it's a really fun race to watch. While I do think you guys are going to have a great time watching this showcase tonight, it's even better when you are watching a race, because it's really down to the wire, seeing two very good players try to pull in every single chance that they can just to get a little bit more points.
Oh yeah, this is probably one of the most intense categories in Rando. It's boss enemy randomizer, but it also focuses heavily on clear speed, focuses heavily on objectives, which we will touch upon a little bit whenever we get to those.
I'll have to.
I'm sure we'll read those off before. Yeah. And routing is the biggest part of 1 hour challenge, and there's benchmark scores that are really nice, but there's the score fluctuates every single seed. So there are some seeds where 800 is a good score, and there's some seeds where 600 is a good score, and there's some seeds where even over 1,000 is a good score. It's all seed dependent, and it all depends on how skilled the runner is at clearing the content and clearing through these bosses efficiently. Now, before we get started, there's something I want to mention. This is using something called Objective Rando, which is a feature in the next iteration of the generator. Objective Rando is as simple as Double is going to get a list of objectives, and when he clears those objectives, he's going to add those points to his tracker. And Double, what would those objectives be for this seed?
Yeah, so my objectives are to defeat Grim Reaper 2's replacement, defeat Hostile Program's replacement, creating the Decoy Presence, to help Beast come to his senses, defeating Sephiroth's replacements, defeat the 1,000 Heartless, and defeating the Elemental Lord's replacements.
Now, another thing too is that each of those objectives are worth different amounts of points depending on how hard those objectives are. So, for example, I believe the Sephiroth objective is worth 40 points.
Yeah, I actually posted in the channel, so if you guys can read it off. But that one
sweet,
is 40 points, yes.
Yeah, and then I think there's some objectives that are worth 10 points in there as well.
Yeah, the Decoy Presence is 20, Help Beast Come to his senses is 10. But yeah, objectives are a really cool thing that we get to see, just to maybe get me to go to worlds. You're seeing all these different worlds. It's a bit of an info overload on the tracker. Seeing a lot of the points. Well, some worlds may not have that many points in them for me to go for. If there are objectives also there, that could also be motivation to go somewhere. And one last thing before we get into the real info overload of actually starting it, the really important thing about the objectives is I have access to a really important item called Promise Charm, which, when used normally in the randomizer, if you have all 3 proofs in the Promise Charm, you can actually go through, talk to the computer to skip the roll number was, go straight into final fights. But with the way that we're playing, there's a special thing where if I get 5 out of these 7 objectives, I'm able to just use that regardless of proofs. So that, but it's only if I get those objectives. If not, I had to the roll number was to reach final fights, and that is a large source of points in this. But
Absolutely. Without any of the boss without the bonus points from fighting the bosses in Final Fights itself is worth 100 points upon completion. So lots and lots of points.
But yeah, I believe that should make us ready to start.
All right, on your account then. I'm really excited for this. So again, the 1 hour challenge, we're not going to cut you off, but we'll see if you meet the 1 hour challenge.
Yeah, there's also a load removed timer on the screen. You'll see that at the left of the layout. That will be it goes off the below this timer just because ESD is real time, but that would be a little unfair to people with stronger or slower machines. So this has made it a lot better while also giving us maybe a couple extra minutes to work with. And if I go over that hour, I'm sure Zed will have a lot to say.
Oh boy.
So I'm sorry, did I mess up my thing, Richard? I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry. This port is sometimes very interesting with aspect ratios. I can fix it like this, just really quickly. And that should be all worked out. Love this port. But that should be all fixed. Yeah. With that, but now we like the 1,000th time we should be good to go.
When you're ready.
All right. I'm gonna start in 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah.
Randy.
Big thing is I would refer to this as the hardest category in the randomizer. Not only is a boss enemy rando, it can kill your mental a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what a start.
He's Combo
Explosion
Master.
start and Combo Master, those are 2 very good abilities that will help slay bosses early on. Something I want to note here is that our shotguns are going to be very similar to Boss Hunter. You're going to see Double peep his head into a few worlds before going into Halloween Town, and he's going to level grind in Halloween Town a little bit. Something I want to point out about not Boss Hunter, 1 hour challenge is that we use a thing called chest visuals match contents. This means that Double will be ignoring certain chests because those chests will be junk items, and he will be picking up a lot of chests depending on the color because those will have useful items. You'll kind of pick it up as we go along, but the red chests are generally abilities, the light blue chests are stat ups, the like royal blue chests are like the one he's picking up right now, that's armor and accessories. The purple chests are weapons, and the purple chests are magics. And hopefully I didn't miss one.
Drive chests are like a yellow or like a gold.
Yes, thank you.
And Visit Unlock,
And
sorry, different shade of color.
I was gonna say Visit Unlocks are yellow and white. There are 2 Visit Unlocks that we will be looking for. The picture and the ice cream will both unlock the portal to Twilight Town and Simulated Twilight Town, and those will give us access to data fights just like they did in Boss Hunter. But we need to find those key items before we get access to those.
And so like we said, Double's going to come in here, use Dance Call on this fight to get some experience. Seems like our shadow replacements this time are minute bombs? Ooh,
Yeah.
okay, so minute
levels.
Yeah, final form off of levels is very huge. That's not only 9 points added to the score, but leveling up each drive form gives you 3 points, which is that adds up over time a lot.
Also, final's good.
Yeah, final
Yeah,
is
of
also
course.
just a great form. So again, using Dance Call here again. Something to note is that each item is worth a certain amount of point value, and those point values added up is what you see next to the world on Double's tracker. There's a 15 in Halloween Town, which means a few things. It can be something that's worth 9 points, 3 points, and 3 points, or it can be worth 5 points, 5 points, and 5 points, or it can be worth a full 15 points, which is the proof which Double might need to access Final Fights if he opts out to go through Final Fights in the non-objective path. This is another fight we're just going to dance hall through. Ah, glide.
Wow.
Glides are also very good early because they just speed you up. And again, clear speed matters a lot in 1 hour challenge.
Yeah, this is also... I started with slightly different movement than I did in Boss Hunter. I started with only level 2 of each movement, which doesn't sound like that much of a difference, but it means every glide and every piece of movement matters so much more than they did in Boss Hunter. But that's a little more variance that you might have between players and between seats.
Okay. So this is actually a very powerful start. Like
Yeah.
I cannot stress enough how strong an explosion, final form, money as well, just having ethers is all of those things are just really great to have early because that means you can push deeper content earlier, maybe do some more things that you otherwise wouldn't be comfortable to do. Very curious to see how Double chooses to route this scene with what he's got.
Yeah. Also, not even just having final, but having final and a fire.
I would.
Yep.
That'll
Yes.
speed up mob fights
I
a
don't know if
lot
you want to
too.
explain the Final Form Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that real quick. So when you're in final form, when you're using fire, you'll see the keyblades spin around Sora, right? And if the keyblades are coming into contact with the boss at the same time as the fire, it will not add revenge value. Revenge value is what the game uses to make bosses retaliate, and like each attack has a revenge value associated with it. And every boss will have a threshold. They hit that threshold and they will retaliate. But if the keyblades are hitting a boss as well as a fire, RV is not being added. It also works with party members as well. So if you have Donald and Goofy attacking and you're doing fires with base Sora, for instance, that will not add revenge value. And it allows you to get a lot of damage out of final form in scenarios where you otherwise wouldn't be able to.
Okay, so something else I want to point out real quick while Ragdoth was explaining that is that Double picked up Limit Form, the other form that you would want to see in 1 hour challenge. Limit Form is a way you can just solo bosses with, effectively.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness,
Oh.
and a Reflect start. This is looking to be interesting. This is already like a high potential seed. Now,
Don't
granted,
get me started on
Double
the potential, man.
yeah, Double could
Not
run
the
into
P
some
word.
awful things here, okay? Like, we could still have Terra over Thresholder. We could still have a lot of nasty boss replacements that could wall Double off of a lot of points. However, this start is still looking very promising. We got a Reflect, we got 2 Torn Pages. Now, Torn Pages, you might think, oh, Double can go to 100 Acre Wood with those. Well, actually, 100 Acre Wood is turned off in 1 hour challenge because we don't want to waste time playing poo mini games. What Torn Pages do instead is they are kind of like Exodia in 1 hour challenge, where you collect all 5 pieces of the Exodia and you get a whole ton of points from it. So yeah, we're looking for the 5 Torn Pages to get a nice hefty bonus. Same thing with reports. Reports not only give you information, as you can see in Double's tracker between the worlds and his stats. For example, Sora's Heart has Baseball Charm, and Grim Reaper 1 became Pete. Double also will get a point bonus if he collects all 13 reports. I believe it's 40 points.
I
That's a
wanna say
lot
it's
of
about
points.
40, yeah.
Another thing that reports do is they actually hint check some worlds for you with the hints that we are currently using. So as you can see, if you look at the Sora levels at the top leftmost portion of the tracker, you see the baseball charm, but it's transparent. That's because it's hinted by a report.
Yeah, another little thing about that is with those ghost items, my numbers will change and turn into a green color, which means that is what is left if you were to exclude the points from the check that is hinted. So that might get a little confusing, but
Yeah.
when you play this a lot and you know the different checks and what they all are worth, it can save you a lot of headache. Hey, Thresholder did not become Terra, but Terra did become Thresholder, so...
Hey, it's these
Okay.
guys again.
Now, it might not seem like a very valuable thing for me to go to Proud Lands, considering there's only 7 points still here. But one, I can go through here very fast. And with that chest visuals, I can breeze through these rooms. And there's a good chance with all these checks here that will be fairly early and in the first minute and a half of this.
Right, and another thing I have yet to mention, again, there's a lot going on here, so stay with me. When Double full clears a world, as in whenever he gets all of the checks in a world on his tracker, the number will turn blue. That blue number gives him extra points. He wants that blue number. So Double is looking for this magic to not just get the 7 points from the magic, but he's also looking to get the point bonus from completing the world, which he just got. It's a cure.
I'm going to take a little risk and continue here just because, like I said, considering I can see with chest visuals, I will know if I can maybe get some really strong abilities here that might help me out. I can still find some abilities like Horizontal Slash or maybe another Guard Break, a Trinity Limit. Or
It's like an EXP boost, even.
an additional Glide. Alma Plus is actually, that might not sound like a very useful item, or useful ability, but it has places. If I were to run into Datademics or into Terra, it's a really good setup to have. And you might be wondering why I'm skipping the equipment. A large number of them are not the most useful, but I'm still picking up every once in a while whenever they're not in the way because I can get something really strong like Full Bloom Plus or Cosmic Arts.
So we've talked a little bit about how there's points in the worlds, right? Well, those points can break down into items. So that 44 in aggregate can be a combination of the following. It can be, it can have the following in it: drives, which are worth 9 points; magic, which is worth 7 points; summons, which are worth 5 points; reports that are worth 3 points; the visit unlocks, which are also worth 5 points, I believe, which is ice cream and
points.
picture. I am forgetting something that for sure.
For 5 points?
Yeah, second chance once more are worth 5 points.
Summons, pages.
Pages are worth 5 points. Thank you. I think that's everything I was forgetting. Oh, and money is worth 7 as well, I believe.
Yeah, money passes for 7. There's also what are called set bonuses. You're just gonna find out there is a lot of ways for these points to add up. But if you find a full set of a magic, or maybe you find both proofs. I did start with non-existence, but I can still find connection or peace, which are worth 15 points on their own. And if I don't remember, is proof set bonus still a thing?
Yes, it's still 15 points for finding both proofs.
Okay, I remembered. I was like, I do a lot of help with Zed of trying to make sure that this category is balanced. So there's a lot of changes and iterations that these go through, and Zed needs to get my wires crossed.
The other thing, if I remember rightly, you can correct me, Zed, proofs are also set to first visit bosses, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
So what that means is there's 15 points left in Agrabah, right? And proofs are worth 15 points. So if there is potential for there to be a proof here if Double doesn't find anything else that's worth points. That being said, that proof would have to be on the first visit boss. So that would be on the Twin Lord's replacement for this world. So, there's a chance that Double might get a proof if he doesn't find anything else before then.
Or psych, there's 3-point page, or not 3-point pages, there's 3 5s in Agrabah 2.
That can happen.
Ooh, a present. But yeah, I know this can feel very overwhelming of a lot of this different information, but all you really need to know is I'm trying to play as fast as I can, and you want to look at that point number and watch it go.
Yeah, you want to watch it go up. I will say that points per minute is a statistic that we use to kind of determine how well a runner is doing in these. Double is over 10 points per minute, which is insane for this early in the game.
I mean, I have 100 points per 10, so, which is my metric that I go off of.
The other thing, though, that I will add to that statement is a lot of points end up cascading at the end of seeds very often because you get your 100 point bonus for doing final fights if you're able to do that. You get set bonuses because you have more items, so you have a higher likelihood of finishing off a set and things like that. So the later in the seed it gets, the more you'll see those points roll in, more often than not. There's also some bonus points for encountering certain bosses, like Sephiroth and Terra in data fights and stuff like that.
We haven't even gotten to those yet.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna wait, but I realized there's a chance that we might not see one for a while, so we should probably just get it out there.
right. So Terra is worth a whopping 50 points on his own. So
Yeah.
defeating Terra, 50 extra bonus points. Good job. Defeating Sephiroth, 30 extra bonus points. Defeating a Data, 20. I think it's just 20 extra bonus.
20.
Yeah, it's just 20 extra points.
ASs are 15.
ASs are 15. Every other boss is 5. So yeah, lots of points for fighting super bosses.
He said the thing.
He's better.
He's better. Give it
He
up.
said it.
Ooh,
He's
there's one
so
of those
cool.
groups. Now,
Oh, wow.
That's usually a gimme, because it's just the Bailey fight, which is
Yeah.
a very difficult thing to get through.
Especially in this seed too, like having 1K and Sephi as objectives, like you're doing that this seed for sure.
So the other thing too, right, is that now it is a 50-50 between whether or not Halloween Town or Agrabah has the second proof that Double is looking for. Now, granted, Double might not be looking for the proofs anymore this seed, because like we said, there's objective random, where if Double completes 5 out of 7 objectives, he gets to go through the final door. 2 of those objectives are here, which we've already discussed. 40 points for defeating the Sephiroth replacement, and 30 points for clearing the 1000 Heartless. So, yeah, lots of points here in Hollow Bastion, coupled with what's already here.
Bastion is not a role I delved very far into during my boss hunter. That's intentional. There's only 2 bosses in here. There's the Demix fight and then Sephiroth. So,
Oh my
another
goodness.
flex. Awesome. I like this scene.
Yeah.
See, chat's been waiting for me to be a little more positive. This is where it's gonna happen. Just summoning Genie there so I can get my drive back at the end of this. Summoning a little early so that I can maybe get some summon experience passively.
So we found something you like.
Also, I'm one of the I'm the only person that enjoys this category. No,
No, there's a lot of people who like it.
We like this category. It's just it's like I said, mental is a very strong thing to hit the top level.
Absolutely.
When you only have an hour to work with, every mistake hurts, like
Yeah.
physically. So, wow.
Wow. So,
Oh.
Double just cleared Hollow Bastion, got the point bonus for getting all of the checks here. That is ginormous.
Yeah, 231 points for 15 minutes is absurd. I haven't even fought bosses.
I was just like, keep in mind, he hasn't even fought bosses yet.
These. No. But I really like this category. I've been playing it for a long time. So I made a comment about seasons of settings. This is one of the only categories that we do actually refer to in the context of having seasons. Because Zed actually is usually hard at work at modifying this category, making new settings for it to keep it fresh and keeping it so that people are enjoying them, and we'll host tournaments. We actually had a very large tournament for season 5 of 1 hour, and I didn't do well in it, but it was still a good tournament, I promise.
Yeah,
It was a very, very good tournament.
Yeah.
It was by far one of the best KH2 tourneys we've had in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Biased because you ran it.
You know what? Let me have it, okay?
Yeah, I'll let you. It's okay.
So, another thing too about 1 Hour Times is that Season 6 is on the horizon. It will be coming with the new generator update, as well as some new changes to the format that we are working on. And trust me when I say me and my team, which Double and Ragnoth included, are working very hard to make sure that the next season is even better than the last, and we just keep that precedent up. So Double is opting to leave Hollow Bastion here, again, there's 70 points of objectives there, but he already picked up all the important checks he would need. So it's just a matter of preference where he goes at this point. Trying to death abuse here to this fight.
Unfortunately, I one-shot these enemies, so I can't. Usually you would do a hit to try to proc retaliation. I don't have that as an option today.
So, how long ago was this category established? I don't recall hearing too much about the 1 hour challenge, but maybe that's because I hadn't been
Jeez.
I will
looking
say
for
this
it.
is another Z category. That
Okay, so
Like,
I
2
came
years
up with
ago?
1 hour. I want to say 2.5 years ago.
yeah, it was
last-
about like 2.5.
it was like
Yeah,
kind
it
of
was
the
2.5
only way to
years
play
ago.
one boss enemy for a bit.
Yeah, it really was. So it was me and Damien A _ VT, otherwise known as DA. He is the person that has helped me conceive this category, and he's by far one of the biggest supporters in terms of updating it and balancing the rule sets and all that stuff. He helped me come up with it. He was the only one that raced it with me for a while until other people got interested, because we played like 4 seeds a day for like all summer.
Yeah, when it only takes an hour, and people were
Yeah, and it
playing
only
random
takes an
all
hour.
day.
Yeah. Like, I cannot stress enough how much work DA puts into the boss enemy scene. Like, he absolutely crushes it every single season, every single update. Like, he does so much work. But yeah, I want to say it was 2.5 years ago, and we've had 5 tournaments for it since.
I think someone asking what's the record. I still referring your points. I want to say I still have it.
I have no idea what it is.
I have no idea. Actually, I think Met broke it.
Did Met break it? I had a 13:15.
I think Met broke the 13.
I thought I saw like a 1330 or something, but I could be
Yeah.
wrong.
I remember
It
there
was
the
either
one where he
Met
did
or
that, but he had,
Jared.
like, I remember he had like the broken tracker when Matt did it.
I
Yeah.
really don't know. I know that I've seen like 13s,
I'll say
but yeah.
that I'm not surprised, considering I got that with a soft lock Final Fights. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, hurry. And be quick about it.
Is this off?
but
I think this will do the trick.
yeah, this category is like super special. I'm sure to Zed, but definitely to Ragnar for myself as well. We mentioned it's kind of the only way to play boss enemy for a little while, because the boss enemy rando was fairly unstable
Trick.
for a long time. So if you wanted to just do like 3-proof rando with it, there was a good chance you couldn't complete the seed, just because there's a lot of bosses that would crash or be unfair or were scaled horribly.
Oh,
This will do the trick.
And
I also needed. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
well, as you can see, so instead we opted to do this when Zed created this category of just, it doesn't matter if you can't get past a boss, because all you have to do is play the game for an hour.
Right. Now, another thing I want to do, I forgot to give credit where credit is due here. The conception for 1 hour challenge came from a different randomizer entirely. So, for those that do not know, Paper Mario: The 1,000-Year Door has a really cool randomizer, and one of the only ways to really play it right now is through 1 hour challenge. And it's built into its rando. So there's like an in-game timer that you can use, and like it also like stuff like badges and coins and all that stuff is worth points. That's where I got the idea from. So yeah, credits to Zephiles and oh my goodness. I want to say it's JD Aster is how you pronounce their name. Credit to both of them. They do a fantastic job with Paper Mario Rando as a whole. And if it weren't for them, we wouldn't have KH 1 hour challenge. Just put it that way.
We had a question in chat. Someone wanted to know, what is the record? I assume that means like the record.
Yeah,
okay,
that's what
you
we
were
were
addressing
bringing
that.
up,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Yeah.
did every one of you attempt this? And if so, what is your personal best?
Oh man.
I had the record for a little while. My best score is a 1,315, which is a very good score. But like, scores are very relative to.
Yeah,
how
I
this
think
goes.
mine was like an 1130 or an 1140. But one thing I will say, in general, there are some seeds that just kind of suck. There are some seeds where your top end will be like 900 or 850 points realistically, because either your checks are late so you don't have tools to do fast content, or a million other things.
Please let me attack you.
Yeah, so this is Terra when he gets to do things.
What is it with this room and super bosses today?
Yeah.
They know that there's a fight after it, so they want to be as rude as possible. I think that's what it is. They're teaming
Okay,
up.
last time it was Sephiroth, and this time it is Terra.
It was Sephiroth into Data Alexeus even. Like, it was double super boss, so...
Gosh, this is so
Oh, this is scary.
I'm not worried about, like, dying. It's just awkward.
Yeah, just getting an actual punish is going to be really hard now.
Yeah, and then I have to deal with lasers. So this is Terra. This is the Terra that a lot of you know. Oh my gosh. And then, of course, that can eat my jump.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Gosh. So this, honestly, I'm okay with that because I'd rather just get a better roll. Potentially.
Yeah.
Ugh. A lot of people would not go back in this fight, right?
So one thing I will say is this tool right here, Beast Limit, is phenomenal for Terra. Terra has an armor mechanic that's based off of hits. After you do a certain number of hits, you'll break his armor and you'll be doing maximum damage. As you can see, Terra auto-retaliated after a single hit there. His armor was broken. He was at the health gate immediately, just from Beast Limit. So technically you can do this fight only using Beast Limit and nothing more, and kill him with 3 Beast Limits. But...
Ammo biked again.
so unfortunate.
Yeah, this is really unlucky. Double is not getting good rolls with this Terra RNG.
That's bad.
Yeah.
I was hoping that I would get him as he was coming out of his invincibility.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Rising
goodness,
Suns,
this
that's
guy.
so unfortunate.
Yeah.
This
the
guy,
worst situation,
man.
which is a bike loop. I'm gonna see if I can get him out of this.
I think you can.
Yeah. I can.
We're rooting for you, Double.
It's fine. These dodge rolls are pretty tight. Come on. Okay, so he whipped out of that retaliate. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about mental fortitude that you have to have.
Yeah.
I'm taking a couple I'm wasting a lot of time right now, which is really rough. And this is what makes or breaks this category for some people.
But it's for 50 points, right? Like,
Yes.
so I
There
feel
you go.
like,
I did that
Yeah.
time there, right?
yeah.
It's actually for more than that, because there's a boss after this, and the world isn't blue yet, too. So this is walking even more points, technically.
No.
Oh my goodness.
That is so unfortunate, man.
Yeah.
You can do
I've
it.
already wasted 4 minutes. This is... Yeah. I'm gonna go, sorry. I'll try again tomorrow. Guess he's gonna do a punch after this. Ooh, no, he
Oh,
reset.
that's unfortunate.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
He might do it again. Okay, we're fine. And Beast. Ladies and gentlemen, Beast. Yeah, come on. No gap closer. Okay, getting out of that seal. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's very tough.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so like right here, for instance, Terra's in his last phase right now, but because Double was not adding RV because the Keyblades of Final Form were hitting there, Terra couldn't retaliate and do his Desperation move yet. But yeah, this just goes to show that if you do not have the toolset for the boss, it becomes significantly more difficult.
He spawned above the thing.
Yeah. So during Terra's DM, he does this vertical drop attack where he slams down on Sora. Unfortunately, there's geometry and collision above Sora when you're on the back wall there. So Terra was able to land up there. Double was not able to guard it, and the follow-up attack ended up hitting and killing Double, unfortunately.
So he's literally right there. He's gonna immediately break out. Okay. Oh, really?
Oh my.
Please let me do an explosion. I'm so confused.
I think you've gotten past the health gate already.
Did I?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that you can do it with a single twin hull here.
But he didn't. Okay. I had to time that perfectly so that I wouldn't still die from the combo. Okay, this will put him to last phase. At least it should.
Yeah. Oh my god. Beast.
Beast, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Close.
Very close.
Okay, so I'm gonna go for a wall that does not have a ceiling, right? See, the way I have it here, I shouldn't take any damage here. The only problem is I got very unlucky. Also, Beast might still run this for me. This should kill.
I hope. I don't believe that.
That's never happened. But no, it's not. That's happened. It's
Did you see the thing?
Weird.
Actual 1 HP.
We call that the magic pixel in my biz.
Yeah. that is indeed the definition of a magic pixel.
Hey!
So Beast, a lot like Hercules, will really like to pull bosses away from you and make your finisher whiff. And he almost did that at the end there using that charge. That was absolutely
And
terrifying.
there's another boss, by the way. Oh
Yeah,
my
there's one-
gosh!
oh, no.
There's no way, right?
No!
Okay.
Aw.
Okay. So this is the absent silhouette version of Vexen, not the data version. So this is a lot
Beast, get
easier
out
to
of my
deal with.
party.
God.
Okay.
You know what? I
Alrighty.
earned something pretty important.
You earned it. You earned it.
Yeah, it was- yes.
I earned the right to do this.
You earned it. Yeah, that room is cursed today. That room is
Yeah,
very cursed.
yeah.
And I know that took a few tries, Double, but that was still very impressive. Thank you for showing us that.
Yeah, considering the tool set that you have, that's not ideal. No gap closer for Terra makes your punishes really hard. especially because you want to keep Beast in your party, so you have access to Twin Howl. But if you leave Beast in the party, then he pulls Terra away when you're doing your combos. If you don't have a gap closer, you can't catch back up to him. So, very scary stuff.
So even though you dodge all the attacks, you can't get a punish. Like,
yeah,
especially Terra has a very fast recovery animation. So
very, very fast, yeah.
You have your one chance, and if you don't get it, then you just try again. You just keep going. And unfortunately, I kept getting really bad patterns, namely the bike phase, which is what ruins that fight for a lot of people, especially myself. I really like that fight, but I don't think I need to say anything.
Yeah, I just want to say, even though Double like spent a lot of time on Terra, he's still over 10 points per minute, which is still really good.
What the
Yeah.
potential? See, that is a
I
phrase
know.
you will hear a lot of people that play 1 hour say, of like, oh, the potential of this seed was so high, I ruined it, and it's very tough. Like,
It's a bad mindset to have.
we're the problem. The category.
I mean,
the category is
it's understandable, though. In a category that's about clear speed, minimizing mistakes is the name of the game, on top of going fast. So whenever you make a mistake, you're hard on yourself for it, you know? It's a very, very, very difficult category, though.
Mental
Mistakes
health is
happen.
very important to me, and I'm hurting right now. Like, so it's just, that should show how this could feel.
Yeah. But yeah, the other thing to note about that, Terra was also just being unkind, let alone what was happening with like Beast and whatnot. Terra was being very rude. You got bike phase, what, 3 times in a row? And you got second phase bike twice, I think, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Oh, I have second chance. Cool.
But yeah, Terra can do that sometimes.
I had flash step and slide dash, by the way. I'm gonna see myself out.
And some minor note, it's always important to check your abilities.
Yeah,
It happens.
It happens.
Got through the fight, that's all that matters. Not only did you get through the fight, you got through Terra with a non-ideal moveset, so. Of any of the fights to get through, that would be the one. Now, surely Twin Lords isn't cursed. Oh, no.
No way, dude.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it, man.
Don't be Data.
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
Okay.
I've done this on Hotfix.
I know. So,
I gotta say, there's a lot of heat going on in this fight.
Data Axle is probably one of the worst fights to have on Twin Lords because that fire floor ticks your health down very fast in the Data fight. So you have to go out of your way to get rid of it before you kill Axle. Otherwise, the fire floor will stay for the rest of the fight.
Yep.
Okay.
So what would be good pace point-wise at about our current timestamp?
So, Double's already over. Like, 10 points per minute at this point is the dream.
Yeah, I usually go by like 100 points per 10 minutes, or 110 per 10 minutes is usually like my goal to try to be at.
Yeah, so like he's already over like a very good score for this point.
And the other thing is, like, he still has a lot of objectives that he can push towards. Hasn't encountered any datas that could be bonus points for him. Sephiroth is still out there somewhere. So there's a lot of points that could roll in really quickly, potentially.
Dude, the fact that they all did the wind up.
Oh, they're awful.
Lance Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are enemies that are normally only found in the Cavern of Remembrance, a dungeon with very difficult enemies. But I can find them anywhere.
Yeah.
Those do fall under the same 50-50 that the org members do, whether you find a core variant of an enemy or the original.
Yep. I think at the first seed there were the bats from core in, I think they were replacing normal hook bats, but I could be wrong.
I want to say, yeah.
Because I remembered seeing them in the OC Pete fight in the Bunter.
Ooh, that's not good. It's just time to my reflect.
Yeah.
Shout out to 1 Hour Season 4.
Oh man, don't remind me.
Had a penalty for every time you die, where you lose 2 points.
Yeah, so any
that-
death that you would take would just slowly chip away at your total point count.
Which did
Yeah.
not help the mental. Beast, I want you out of my party.
Yeah,
I think
he's
we've seen
definitely.
enough beast for one run.
Yeah, he's been an enemy today.
Large body is very awkward to deal
Yeah.
with.
The other thing to note, this is another seed with a not ideal shadow replacement. Normally, what you'd like to see is a shadow replacement that isn't too hard to kill, but gives a lot of experience. Because, ooh, this is scary.
Okay.
Okay. Less scary. It's
I have
the
a
normal
hot
fight, not the data. Yeah. But normally you want shadows that give an okay amount of experience, or a shadow replacement, pardon me, that gives an okay amount of experience, so you can level grind in the World That Never Was. Because World That Never Was has a bunch of shadows in the first room, so you can level grind there very easily to get your stats above the floor and be able to blitz through content very, very quickly. But unfortunately, on both of the seeds tonight, neither of them had great shadows.
Yes, give me a
Obviously. Ooh. Oh no way! Oh,
Oh,
A little too much hear me out in there.
yeah. I think that was just the right amount to hear me out. To be honest with you, it's just unfortunate. But on the topic of levels, there's still all the normal level grinding places that you're used to seeing people do, like screens in
Yeah, that's actually where
Space
I was gonna go
Paranoids
next.
1, or the minute fight in Port Royal earlier in the seed and stuff like that. That's still all there.
There's the
Oh
console data.
no. So another thing to note. So that was normal Zigbar on the normal Zaldin replacement. Data Zaldin is going to be replaced by either normal or Data Zigbar. It still rolls the 50-50 on which version it will be. So there's a chance you'll have to fight a data scaled version of normal Zigbar if he does the Data Zaldin replacement. But there's also a chance that he ends up being the data version as well.
And my magic stats are very low for where I want to be.
Yeah, 34, not even that far above the World That Never Was floor yet. That's really unfortunate.
Very good damage there.
Actually, like, perfect damage, yeah.
I don't think Noel has Cure on. I feel like I would have noticed that by now.
I heard him say Sora, and I thought he was curing you. I got so scared.
This room is.
Wow, that magic stat is not moving.
This is a lot of color.
Yeah, it is.
Magic set.
It's not showing though.
Magic
Where's it at?
logic?
where? You know,
And
Okay,
Tron grew at the same
42.
time as me.
Oh my god. Goofy actually throwing the items for once? Not being greedy? Oh, he's just a little bit late though. That's
That's
unfortunate.
fine. Wasting more items, but honestly, worked out.
Okay, so Strength got above the data
Yeah,
floor.
72
Magic
strength,
is
but-
not close though.
But it is at where I need to be for HP, which is what I wanted.
That's true.
For
Yeah.
Ragnarok.
mhm. Okay.
So I do need to start chasing some objectives if I want to be able to finish the seed well.
Yeah.
Which I'm doing
We
one
know
right now.
that the last three paths would either be in OC or Halloween Town. But like Double said, he's aiming for objectives instead. So objectives we have left are defeat GR2's replacement, defeat hostile programs replacement, create the decoy presence, defeat Sephiroth's replacement, or defeat the 1000 Heartless. Now, this is hostile program replacement, and then Double's gonna get HP to get his last two objectives, I assume. So,
See, this is how Scar works when you actually get to do that fight how you want to. Final Sense of King Lord, very good. Honestly, the next one level was look kind of good. I don't think I have the time to work with that.
Yeah, this is when whenever it gets into the nitty gritty where you really just have to make snap decisions and go with your gut. I feel like a lot of the time, because if you start pondering and like doubling back, you're wasting time that you really can't afford to waste.
Yeah, there's another common phrase of just go to a world.
Just do content.
Gliding around
Yeah.
the GOA is a very big problem that a lot of people have.
I still think it's funny that Hercules can be hit by thunder.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
DK's Cloud, I'll definitely go do that.
Yeah, that's a fast fight.
Yeah. And theoretically, that could not be approved. But if it is, then... So unfortunately, I was actually wrong about my magic set. That was in a form.
Oh yeah, you're like, what, too short?
Yeah, I'm too short.
You did pick up Cosmic Arts. If you have an accessory slot, maybe?
I've Chained Archive on. I don't know if I have an extra one.
Is your Keyblade max magic?
It's 9.8, so pretty high.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Hey,
I did get a level
you got
up there.
magic up. Yeah, you got your magic up.
There's a chance that I also have a magic boost in my stock. That's not a RCA I would ever expect to see.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
That was pretty fast though, actually.
For the fans. Come on. Keep going.
Yo, the experience.
Yo.
Let's go.
Yo, let's go.
Optimal. Nope. Let's see what I can do. If I can, yeah. Pick, that's a rough. And using it for an Aether in. So, up in the rooms, we're trying to. Nice. It's even better one than I already have. What I'm trying to do here is trying to reach 49 magic, because then I can effectively skip this fight with Magnera.
Yeah, so at a high enough magic set, you're just able to one-shot the Armor Knights and the Surveillance bots as they get pulled into the magnet. So you can just keep a magnet up for the entire fight, rather than needing to do the RC over and over again.
Yeah.
This just a constant flow of Heartless skills.
I'm looking at the grounds to also make them spawn in even quicker. You can also spin the camera, but that can hurt people's eyes, so... including my own, so I don't like to do it. Sometimes there's a little sweet spot that you have to find your way back to, so it's a little finicky. Actually reminds me a bit of the ski ball abuse in Battle for Bikini Bottom, funnily enough. Okay. Got another objective there. Yeah, assuming I'm able to defeat Sephiroth, I will have enough objectives to get into final fights, which is very good.
So,
And with my stats, it shouldn't be bad.
quick question about this. Is your objective to finish the game, get as many points, or yes?
Yes.
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 Okay. Gotcha.
So finishing the game gives you 100 points just for doing final
Oh.
fights. So you want to try to do it in every seed if possible.
Gotcha. That's interesting.
Yeah, there was a time back in the day where we thought no one would ever be able to clear final fights in a 1 hour challenge seed, and that was season 1. And then people got better.
Things
a lot
changed.
better.
Remembering-
Things have changed.
Knowing the average points back then, I started playing back in season 2, and 400 was like a pretty good score.
Yeah, and then lots of changes
And
to
now
the
we've
generator,
tripled
and
that as far as
things
what's a really,
happen.
really strong score.
To be fair, more points have been added to the pool with things like
Yes.
set bonuses and such. But either way, the skill floor has gone up significantly since then. Good form pop.
Yes, I believe people
So we
call
got-
that get good, right? The randomizer.
Yeah.
It'd be hard,
So-
though. This is some really hard stuff. And again, just very impressed here with the knowledge of the commentators and, of course, double gameplay here as well. And again, I blinked and that boss was dead. Well done.
Yeah.
My strength stat's very high.
Yeah, so the floor for Sephiroth is 50. So you don't start seeing a difference in your damage output until you're above 50 for strength and magic. And double strength is currently 69 outside of a 4.
Nice.
So, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, big damage.
Okay.
So again, is there
It's-
anything else you want to talk about? I know we still have about 15 minutes or so left, but is there anything else you want to talk about regarding tournaments, the community, any final shout outs? I want to make sure y'all have enough time to get everything in because I know there is a lot to cover.
Yes. Okay, so currently, if you want to check out the KH2FM Rando channel, our top 16 for the league will be starting shortly. It's a lot different than this. It's a path hints with no boss enemy rando, so it's a little bit less crazy and focuses more on just routing and world clear. But still very fun. Also, this summer is going to be our tournament off season where we host a ton of weekend tournaments, and there's going to be a lot of stuff. So just stay updated in the KH2FM Rando Discord. One of the main things that we will be having over the summer, and it's currently slated for June, right before GDQ right now. Just between you and me, the date might change. Is 1 Hour Challenge Season 6. And so if you get really like watching double playthrough 1 Hour Challenge here, then, you know, there's going to be a whole tournament of this stuff happening in June. So yeah, just stay tuned. Follow the KH2FM Rando Twitch channel. And join the KH2FM Rando Discord. And you'll be updated on all this stuff.
Yeah, so unfortunately for Double, he pushed Data Zigbar to the health gate, or not health gate, but the health threshold for him to be in DM phase. So he got DM'd immediately out of an opening, unfortunately. Right here, what Double's doing, by not hitting Zigbar's revenge value, he will continuously do sets of shots at Sora, and you can loop Data Zigbar in this phase to death, as long as you do not hit his revenge value here. So once you're at this point, it's a very safe way to just handle the rest of the fight, and well done.
Very good data, Zigbar.
Hoping that this gives me ice cream or picture, for that matter.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, page is also good. If I can get another page, that'd be really strong. Problem is, those are probably in places I don't want to go to, but I will.
Yeah.
That's probably here.
Yeah, World That Never Was is really good, not only for the points, but just because of the sheer amount of bosses that you encounter in the world.
This is AX2 is a little slow, but it's fine.
Yeah, not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's really funny to see that attack in not a giant arena, and
Yeah.
where you're like, come on, I swear I could reach him, he's right there. But
Yeah, the other silly thing about Armored Zemnis 2 is he has this big area behind him that's just like all invisible collision, because it's where the dragon's head is supposed to be and stuff like that. So if you're behind him, you just get shoved around by invisible
Yeah.
collision all the time.
it's super awkward. I'm gonna make that from those. Those. Still can get a 9-5.
Yo, what a great hint.
No way. What a see. That's another big inside joke with that boss enemy has with us. Giving you a hint for a boss you just beat.
Not only a
Especially when
boss
it's
you
on
just
the boss.
beat. Yeah, not only the boss that you just beat, but also the check for that boss.
Yeah. I did not pick up on that. Hey, they got
Hey.
over here. So I'm gonna try something I tried earlier. Now you see them, now you don't. Hey, picture. Let's go.
Hey, very nice.
We can do data AX2.
Okay. So we got about 10 minutes on the clock. Double's gonna try and blue out this world and then go fight Data AX2 presumably.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're kind of in a sticky spot of where can I get the most points possible with the time I have left.
Where's the fun in this?
Hello.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna buy Berserk on. Yeah, it's fine. It's chill.
Yeah, you almost never want to see Data Zoldan in solo arenas. He is a pretty slow fight to begin with, but in the solo arena, you don't have access to final form or Donald limits to speed up the fight.
Gonna jump, hopefully.
Ooh. Probably gonna DM after this. Ah, man.
Close.
Yeah, not much that you could really do there.
See, I thought he was getting instant DM, so I didn't go for the extra finisher.
Yeah, I know.
The cool thing is, I can actually kill him while he's bringing this up. Hydra became Sephiroth. I don't think I have enough time to do that. That would be really
I
cool
don't
if I
think
did,
you have
though.
enough, no.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of sick.
You'd have to leave like immediately and then try and clear all of
That would be
OC1 as
so
fast as
rough.
possible.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think there's enough time.
Even though there isn't also points in this series, so that would be strong. Leave me alone, man. I don't want to fight you.
Give me strength. Our turn? Yeah.
Oh, the parry? That's so unfortunate.
Yeah, so this is the Peter Pan loop. Very effective against experiment.
Pan the pan.
So someone.
Pan the pan.
Oh my goodness.
Pan.
that part like
Eaten up.
annihilated your summit
He's
gauge.
unhappy. So this is the fan loop. If I keep doing these combos fast enough, then this will work forever.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, you can do that on a lot of bosses. Not in the same way, but similar way. Most notably, most people know about it for both Terra and Syax, for instance, are probably two of the most well-known.
Yeah, ironic to use it in Sax's arena.
Yeah.
So Peter Pan, very powerful in this game.
Yeah, he has his uses. Unfortunately, so like almost every summon has a benefit and trade-off. Like Stitch, for instance, will give you MP, but he can play his ukulele, which in most scenarios you kind of don't want him to do.
Come on,
But
man. Come on, man.
Pan is good versus a good amount of bosses and to be safe, basically.
You could
Yeah.
hear the clench in that. Come on.
Yeah, so those enemies are also Cavern of Remembrance variants, and they're very scary and very strong and very aggressive.
Let me out. This is not a dance.
Take this. Yeah, this is it.
Unfortunately, this is the AS version of Lexaeus. Probably wanted to save the Data version for the little bit of extra points that you get for fighting him, because the fight would basically be the same speed regardless, but it's not the end of the world.
I wonder if this Data is worth it.
I was just about to say that, yeah. It might be. So, Data Zemnis is unique, where you have to fight 2 fights. So that is 2 replace bosses, and you will get bonus points for each arena that you clear. So Data Zemnis arena is usually very strong, but it depends on what bosses are there. Lexaeus isn't the fastest fight, but he's not too bad. It's unfortunate that double strength is below the floor, sorry, magic is below the floor, because most of your damage comes from reflex on Lexaeus here.
Yeah, but the raising my strength even more.
Did you check Final Zemnis or no?
It's Spoken Lord.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot.
And let's see if we can get Data here. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, cool. So the easiest way to tell if it's Data or AS for Lexaeus is the number in the top right. If it is Data, it will be at 10k, and if it's normal Lexaeus, it will be at 6,000. So you can tell immediately entering the fight.
And there's a couple good loops I can go for here with the tools I have.
You have some options.
This is definitely the easiest one to set up. This isn't gonna work, but it's fine. Actually, it might.
I think it's
gonna say, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hit this RB.
Yeah.
I might be dead. Yikes. I had a feeling that I was gonna die there.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Definitely don't have anything else that I can do now outside of doing this and in final fights, hopefully.
Yeah.
So this is a tiny bit risky if I can't get into final fights with the time I have.
It's over. This is it. This is it. It's it. Okay. Yeah. This is it. Back off.
Okay, I wasn't sure if I was gonna hit it there.
Yeah. All right, so the reason why I double looked at the floor there is Lexaeus' DM is usually fine in most arenas, but there's a handful of arenas and some edge cases where, unfortunately, after those big rock pillars at the end of the DM come out, that the game will crash. I don't think we know for sure what causes it, but a little bit of paranoia and, you know, just like to eliminate that from happening as much as possible, you'll see players either go into first-person mode or get as little of the pillars as possible on screen during that DM. So one annoying thing is there's a floor in this arena, but there's also a floor below the floor, and for whatever reason, this boss and a few others care about the floor below rather than the one that Sora's standing on. Volcano Lord does it, Prison Keeper does it. I can't think of the others, but there's like 2 or 3 that do it. The bird in Shan Yu's fight, Hayabusa, will do it as well. Oh my god, that was so scary.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get
But yeah.
spot.
So unfortunately, you can't get reflect damage out from the pools as you would in most normal fights with Volcano Lord here. And once again, this is another unfortunate part about having a lower magic than strength set. is in a fight like this, your magic is once again being the workhorse for the most part, since he spends most of the time below the floor.
All right, this is where it's going to get a little down to the wire.
Yeah.
I don't have that much time to work with here.
So the ruling for 1 hour challenge is that you have to enter final fights before the 1 hour mark. So 59:59 is the last second you enter final fights. After that, you get penalized for every minute past the 1 hour mark. So, for example, if you go a minute over an hour, that's minus 10 points. If you go 2 minutes over, 20. If you go 3 minutes over, 40, and then so on and so forth. It keeps scaling like that. So while Double technically can go over an hour here, he really does not want to. Because it penalizes his score heavily.
Yeah, and that starts at 101 is when that starts happening.
Yeah, one benefit right now is, at least for these fights, double sets are well over the floor. I believe that the floor for final fights is the same as the World That Never Was, correct? Is that 42?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go probably 1 minute over.
And depending on what this fight is.
Maybe not.
Ooh, maybe not.
Maybe not.
So this is what we were talking about earlier with Tifa and the other Final Fantasy characters. They just kind of die. They hit hard, but they just kind of die.
I'll say, see something in the chat talking about my recolor that actually is not made by Ragnar. That was made by myself. Ragnar just showed me how.
Oh, this is gonna be close. Oh no.
It's fine. And
No
Nice.
no
penalties.
penalties.
Wow.
So I get to add some things from my objectives. Because I forgot to do it as they happened.
That's time, right?
Yeah,
Should
that
be
is
plus
time.
120. Yeah.
Yep.
We did it!
I believe it's plus 120.
I wouldn't be too sure of that.
I think I'm missing. I think you're right. Yeah. There you go. Okay, so 9. So that is a very strong score.
Yeah.
Getting above 900, getting above 800 on any given seed can be really strong. Of course, especially considering I lost like 9 minutes on Terra, because that was a very difficult fight with where I was at.
How can you say that? Even if we could go on.
So
Look where we are.
that is 1 hour challenge.
That was intense.
Hanging out in darkness.
Like, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
You gotta try and think.
No, it's awesome.
I say it's
Like-
definitely down to the wire, a very stressful category.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
1 hour in a
absolutely.
race scenario, I think is the most stressful experiences I've ever had in KHD Rando.
Awesome. Well,
Absolutely.
anything else you would like to shout out here before we get to our next GDQ Hotfix show this evening?
Really? Are you mad? No. Kinda always thought you were better at everything, too.
I just obviously repeating some of my shout outs. Just a huge shout out to one Zed for creating this category and the category before it, Boss Hunter, and having put so much into making sure the boss enemy scene is given the respect that it deserves. A lot of people write it off as a little bit of a meme, but it's competitively viable. There's a lot of love that so many people put into this from a development cycle and from just playing the game. So big shout outs to Zed and the big shout outs to Ragnoth for doing some of the same and being both being my close friends to keep me going in this. I've been playing Arena for 3.5 years, and if I didn't have the friends that I had made throughout that time, then I wouldn't still be playing.
You know, maybe the darkness has gotten to me, too.
Yeah. Shout outs to these two. They're like some of my best buds in the community, Ragnoth and Double. Shout outs to Zach the Robot and all the other developers. Again, there's just way too many names to name. They all do amazing jobs. Shout outs to DA for helping me create 1 hour challenge and Boss Hunter. Again, that's Damien A_VT. Check him out. And yeah, I think that's about it for me.
Yeah, you guys covered basically everything I would have said.
All right. Well, I want to thank y'all for being on. I'm going to drop your Twitch links in the chat one more time. Everyone be sure to follow twitch.tv/WADewey, twitch.tv/Ragnoth, and twitch.tv/Zeticus60. And again, thank you to y'all for being on. This was a fantastic showcase. Thank you so much for your hard work.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you having me on. Always a pleasure to be on your show, Sky. And for those that like that, Sky and I are working together again next month. So.
Yeah, that'll be Super Mario Odyssey Talkatoo. That'll be a fun time. But yes, the programming is not done here on GDQ Hotfix. Couple quick announcements here on behalf of Games Done Quick. Summer Games Done Quick will be live from Minneapolis, Minnesota, June 30th through July 6th. The SGDQ 2024 games list will be out April 26th. Let us know at Games Done Quick on social media, and let us know what you're hoping to see. And your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. If you enjoy watching speedruns, continue and to consider subscribing to the channel. And with that being said, that is the end of Random Number Generation. I'm Skybilz for GDQ Hotfix. Stay tuned for Time Capsule. Take it away, Tippy.